All right, Jason, on today's show, we're talking about the LGBT.
Oh, getting into it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
That's right, folks. On today's show, we're going to talk about how to learn to get big-time sales deals done.
Oh, you got me.
I broke your frame.
You did.
You see, you were thinking that I was thinking something else because I broke your frame.
True.
I got your attention because
Yes.
you're going, where is this show going to take us? And that's what today's guest does over and over and over again. On today's show, we are interviewing the New York Times best-selling author of the book Pitch Anything. Throughout Oren Klaff's career, he's actually raised over $1 billion in investment capital. Whoa. And now he is a partner in a $200 million private equity fund. He's a motorcycle enthusiast. He's written for the Harvard Business Review, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, and many other leading publications. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever struggled to pitch your ideas and to sell something, this is the show for you. Our exclusive interview with New York Times bestselling author, Oren Klaff.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Oh, snap, Thrive Nation. We've got Oren Klaff on the show. Oren Klaff, welcome into the dojo of Mojo. How are you, sir?
Better now with that introduction. That was very fine. I don't usually get that. I usually get Wharton University saying,
No.
I'd like to, next up on stage, I'd like to introduce you a very well-respected author, Oren Klaff.
Oren
Please
Klaff.
put your hands together.
The guy who's
Bueller, anyone?
Bueller.
The guy's written books
So-
about frame breaking. We'll go ahead and introduce him with a little Golf Channel mix here. You're awesome, man. You're seriously. You are the guy who taught me about breaking frames. And I have to ask you this, my friend. What first inspired you to write that book, Pitch Anything?
Yeah, well, desperation, need, frustration, pain, the end of the runway in sight, all that stuff. No, that's what inspired me to finish the book. To start the book was really, people liked the way I did things, and they couldn't figure out just how I was doing so much business, closing deals in a certain way, and it looked like nothing was happening when everything was happening. And they started saying, what are you doing? Tell it to us. And then I was on a radio show, and then I had one of Howard Stern's people listen in, and they got in touch, and an agent, and in New York and stuff. So things happened, and I don't know, people like me, and away we went.
You've sold over 1 million copies of the Pitch Anything book, and you've written for the Harvard Business Review, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur. And you're an investment partner, I believe, in a $200 million private equity fund. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. We're investing in companies and buying companies, so, doing the Lord's work.
And now you're also a motorcycle enthusiast. Is this correct?
Yeah, now that we could talk about.
Yeah.
I have owned 1,000 motorcycles in the last 10 years.
Are you serious?
So it's funny, you come into an office here, and we're closing a $7.5 million deal today. Right, and people come here, and it's a finance office, glass windows, and pretty normal office. But every once in a while, someone will open the wrong door, and they'll go, "What just happened?" Because out behind here, I got mechanics, and they're welding, and they're putting together race motorcycles, and they got tattoos, and all the kind of TV show kind of mechanic guys working back there, and they go, "I think I just walked into a different business." Same business. We have a warehouse out back where we build motorcycles and cars, attached to the finance office. So yeah, motorcycles and cars absolutely have me hooked in. I ran a car in the Daytona 500 this year, so that was pretty incredible.
Where are you located right now? Or where do you work? Where's your office located?
I'm in a secure, undisclosed location in Southern California.
Okay, so you're there. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
Many would want to know, how did you get to a place in your life where you have thousands of motorcycles, you're racing in the Daytona 500. Walk us through the very beginning of your career. Where did the Oren Klaff experience start?
Yeah, well, I mean, one time when I was very young, the door handle on our Rolls Royce was broken, and I had to ride to school in just a regular old minivan.
That's sad. That's a sad story. That's a sad story.
That's a sad story, and that was a transformative moment for me, realizing that not every car was a Rolls Royce. No, I think I was always entrepreneurial growing up. At some point in college, I was on the East Coast. We started a software company, just myself and a buddy, and we added a couple people there. And then finally, the East Coast was not the happening place for software and get software engineers and everything. So we moved out to California, and we grew to 70 people. So growing fast, had cresting through $10 million in revenue, and we just grew ourselves out of cash. So, at that time, there wasn't a venture group, in the restroom of every 7-Eleven, or every Starbucks. You couldn't walk in and raise $3 million. By the time you finished ordering a coffee, there was nothing in software finance, a couple Kleiner Perkins, a couple firms in the Valley. So I went out to try and find money, and then, we got all these questions. Let's see your pro forma. What are your key assumptions? What are your KPIs? What does your marketing plan look like? What's the org chart? What are the holes in the org chart? What is the the forward 12-month plan? What is LTM? What are your ratios? What are your growth? And we didn't have any of that. We're just running a software company. And so in a span of 2 weeks, I was sort of forced to semi-produce all that stuff, but I wasn't familiar with it and didn't produce it to the quality that the then market wanted. I wasn't able to raise the money for the company that we needed to really grow it. And it kind of fizzled out. It wasn't a disaster, but it fizzled out. It didn't reach its true potential.
Dr. Brick, how are you, my friend?
I am great. Thank you, Cliff.
By the way, have you had a good weekend thus far?
I have, yeah.
What were you doing yesterday? Any highlights for us?
So yesterday, my daughter had a football game to cheer at in Yukon, Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like Yukon this time of year?
Well, it wasn't bad. It's the first time I've been there this time of year.
You know what they say about Yukon this time of year?
What's that?
I have no idea. All right. So now on today's show, though, we're interviewing Oren Klaff, who's a best-selling author, and he's teaching about how to break frames. And I want to make sure this is very relevant and practical for all the listeners out there.
Right.
What he's talking about is how to pitch anything, how to sell something.
Right.
When did it occur to you as a chiropractor that you were going to have to learn how to market and sell something? Because in chiropractic school, I don't know if they covered that.
Very little.
When did you first discover, it's about more than just chiropractic care. It's about selling chiropractic care?
It probably would have been in the first couple of weeks when I was sitting in my office alone.
Was it? Can you describe how it felt when you were in an office where you had probably the chiropractic tables, you had the decor, you've got the logo, got the business card, and nobody is checking you out. No customers are coming to find you.
In a word, it's depressing. Yeah, it was very sad time and a lot of frustration.
So how long did it take you to figure out how to effectively market your business and how to sell something?
Way too long.
If you had to guess, how many years or months did it take you?
I would say I struggled along trying to figure that out for about a decade.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of listeners out there listening right now, there's probably a podiatrist, probably a dentist, probably a doctor, probably a lawyer, probably a contractor. There's somebody out there listening right now who's a plumber, and you're really good at plumbing, chiropractic, treating patients, being an attorney. But if you can't sell anything, it doesn't work.
Right.
And Jason, you've seen this. You've managed the elephant in the room stores.
Yep.
What happens to the people who we've hired to work at the front desk who can't sell anything?
Well, we find people who can sell things.
There it is. And if you're out there and you want to learn, I do believe in the human capacity to learn new skills. That's why I'm doing this show here on a daily basis. But you have to learn that there are fundamental processes. There are fundamental mechanics. It's like there's moves that work. So just like you can teach almost any child to learn to play the piano if given enough practice, and you can teach almost anybody to shoot a free throw if given enough practice, you can learn how to effectively sell something. But Oren was talking to you guys. He was sharing with you that he had a software company that was going well.
Right.
Things were going well, but he couldn't raise the capital needed because he didn't know how to pitch anything.
Right.
Now that's where most entrepreneurs' dreams die. If you can't sell well, then your business goes to hell. And that's where most business owners die. They die on that hill of saying, I just don't know how to sell anything.
Mm-hmm.
But Oren decided, no. I'm not going to let my dreams die there. I'm going to actually learn to sell something. And man, did he learn how to sell something. This guy learned how to sell and sell so well that he was able to raise over $1 billion of capital throughout his career. He's earned enough money to have thousands of motorcycles. He's sold over 1 million copies of a book teaching you how to sell something. This guy now is the sales machine. But Jason, you've worked with a lot of clients, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of great people out there who at first, before being coached by you, had struggled to sell something.
Right.
Can you talk about what happens when you have a great business plan, a great logo, a great staff, a great vision, a great dream, but you can't sell anything? What happens?
Well, it's like being in a firefight. You could have the biggest gun that has the most accurate sights, the most lethal ammunition, but if you can't pull the trigger, you're not going to win.
Ooh, negative. Just negative. Facts. Now, Dr. Breck,
Yes.
give somebody out there some encouragement. Somebody out there who's listening to today's show and they're going, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't know if this show, are you guys reading my mind right now? Because I haven't been able to sell anything in years. There's a doctor out there listening. There's a dentist. There's a lawyer. There's a chiropractor. There's a contractor. What would you say to the contractor, to the business owner, to this person out there listening who just can't sell anything?
Well, first of all, I'd say keep listening because you can learn a new skill. And for me, it was just almost an innate aversion to selling. And then being a doctor.
There we go.
Yeah.
An innate aversion.
Yeah.
What do you mean
I
by
did not
that?
like the idea of selling. As a doctor, you feel, you think or feel, I don't know which is the more proper term, but that you shouldn't have to sell
There we go.
yourself. That you know, a lot of doctors will remove themselves from any money exchange in
So
their
you're
offices.
above the sales.
You're above the sales.
Too good
in a
for the
sense.
sales.
Yeah.
Sales are beneath you.
Sales are beneath you in a way. But even as a kid, I mean, you know, you had fundraisers and things. I never enjoyed those.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't.
What?
I did not. No,
Now-
it wasn't my thing.
now I'll tell you
and
how-
so I wasn't a natural born salesman. I didn't come up with ideas and hit up my friends with pancakes I'd made at home or knickknacks that I was ready to sell.
This is interesting. This is so
I
interesting.
was not a natural salesman whatsoever. But you can learn a new skill, and so if you have an issue of any kind, I mean,
Love it.
just like Warren's saying, I mean. He had to create the pro formas and all the stats and stuff that the venture capitalists wanted at the time. He had to go and learn that. And you also can learn. So it may not be in sales. It may be in a different area. But definitely there are things that you have to either learn or find the people that you can bring around you in your team that have the skills.
Jason, have you ever had an aversion to sales?
I did, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
It was one of those things where I always thought that I lived my life as on the path of least resistance. And it was just easier. It's like, oh man, if I don't have to worry about conflict, I'll be fine. Almost like a sales pacifist. But I'll never forget.
The Switzerland of sales.
But what turned me around really quick was when you guys let me know, hey, this is really important. This is your quota. You have to hit this mark. And one day where I realized my whole thing was I would ask people, hey, do you want to buy a membership? They go, no. And I just go, okay. And that was it. And then I watch another employee kind of show me how the sales process works, where it's not like a yes or no thing. It's a no, then you answer more questions, and then you close.
If you're out there looking for the formula, there's a great book called The Soft Selling in a Hard World. Soft Selling in a Hard World. I just want to paraphrase. I want to condense and give you the proven process for sales. All right? Step number one is you want to build rapport. You want to build rapport. You want to script it out, but you want to build rapport. The process, the formula is RNBCI. Okay? Rapport, needs, benefits, close, isolate, objections. Rapport, needs, benefits, close, isolate, objections. So you build rapport, then you find the person's needs, then you deliver the benefits supported by facts, then you do the call to action. You want to end the conversation with a call to action. And as you bring it to a close or a call to action, you want to move to the next step. What happens is there's always an objection. So then you isolate the objection. You find out what the real objection is. People might say it's too much money, or they don't have enough time, or they need to talk to their spouse. You isolate what the real concern is, and then you come back and you close the deal. So it's rapport, needs, benefits, close, isolate, objection. Isolate objections. Just yesterday, we're looking for the new location to move the Thrivetime Show world headquarters as we near the end of the lease for this building. And I found this. I found the land here, Dr. Breck. I'm going to show you on the screen right now.
Yes.
Here it is. This is the land. So this is where it is, and it's 4 miles from here. At an undisclosed location right over there. And so we this is where it is. And you kind of look here. You kind of go, I'm gonna put in the man. I'm sitting in the man on Google Maps so you can look and hit out of here. Drop it in the man. There it is. So this kind of looks like almost like a golf course kind of thing. But if we zoom back out,
Very nice.
Now look at this. This is what's beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. This right here. This would be where the building would be put. And then this back here, that's where I put my house, I think. That's the move. So it's like a Disneyland of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I think that's the move right there. But I had to kind of you got to kind of pitch it.
Well, sure.
When you're talking to a real estate
I'm sure
agent,
you got to pitch it to Vanessa too.
There we go. So, but
Your wife.
pitching is just influencing,
Right.
right? So you've got you've got to pitch. You got to be able to convince the real estate agent that if you're buying this property because she's representing a family.
Right.
And if I buy it, I'm not going to turn the property into an abomination and an eyesore for the other neighbors because everybody around there has kind of like a 1 acre lots, nice houses, lots of trees. And they also have to convince, let's say you're wanting to buy a house, you'd have to convince maybe a banker to lend you money, or you'd have to convince your team it's a good decision to move there, or convince your spouse. But sales is just influence.
Right.
And nobody is better at teaching how to influence than today's guest. And before we get back into the interview, I want to read three notable quotables from Oren Klaff. And if you're out there online, just Google search it. It's O-R-E-N, Oren Klaff, K-L-A-F-F, from his book, Pitch Anything. He says, frames are psychological referencing systems that all people use to gain a perspective and a relevance on issues. Frames influence judgment. Frames change the meaning of human behavior. When you are reacting to the other person, that person owns the frame. When the other person is reacting to what you say, you own the frame. There are limits to the human attention span, which is why a pitch must be brief, concise, and interesting. Now, without any further ado, back to our interview with Oren Klaff.
And so that wounded me. That said, I don't know how to talk to money. And so I started looking around and I said, who does, right? And I hooked up with some South African guys in San Diego that were running a small investment bank. And I said, let me clean the windows and sweep the floors and make pitch decks for you, for next to nothing. And they said, sure, why not? We'd love to have an intern. So I was a 30-year-old intern in an investment bank, but I got the skills and then I got good at raising money. And then I got too good. When you get too good, you can actually sell things that you shouldn't sell, raise money for things that shouldn't have money, and you have to figure out how to use your powers, for good, not evil. Are you watching this show, The Boys, on Amazon?
I am not watching this show, The Boys, on Amazon, but I probably should be watching The Boys. Educate me about The Boys.
Yeah, it's a superheroes gone bad, right? And they get the powers, and power corrupts. And I think it's the same thing with money. Once you know how to use money and acquire money and pitch for money, you have a power. You have to figure out how to use that power. And I spent 10 years trying to figure out, what should I raise money for? What is a good purpose for this ability to raise money and sell?
Dr. Breck, is there anything that you're not willing to sell?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Maybe just give me one thing you'd say. I could, but I'm not going to. You're a doctor. Give me just one thing you wouldn't sell. I mean, are you that you'd go, nope, wouldn't do it?
Well, I mean, in chiropractic, we don't use pharmaceuticals. So for me, that's part of my own philosophical balance point. One of the reasons why I didn't go into medicine was
Talk to me about this. Well, walk us through.
Yeah.
I think there's people out there that are curious about what is your philosophy towards medicine as a doctor.
So I think there's a time and a place for all aspects of healthcare and medicine. But personally, when I was coming to that point where I had to make a decision, Philosophically, it just I was a little bit disenfranchised with pharmaceuticals and medicine and how the whole game was played with insurance and the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors that were on the front lines. And so I just found myself a little juxtaposed to it all. And so it didn't really work for me. And I find in chiropractic it's a lot more natural. It's holistic. We're really looking at lifestyle and things that the patient themselves can do, which about 80% of all diseases that we deal with are lifestyle and choices.
80%?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I have found, and I agree with you, although I'm not a doctor, I've worked with a lot of doctors, and I have a real hard time, and I won't work with doctors that pitch these mind-altering pharmaceutical drugs as a cure-all for everything.
Sure.
But could you explain from a medical perspective, or just from your ethical perspective, or from your worldview, why do you not believe in pitching mind-altering pharmaceutical drugs as the cure-all for everything? Because a lot of doctors do believe that.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen this personally where one drug gets researched and it works really well for one thing, but then the pharmaceutical companies are kind of notorious, in my opinion, for spending a whole lot of money trying to figure out what that drug can also be used for, rather than, actually developing a new drug. And so anti-anxiety or antidepressants are used for anxiety. They're used for panic attacks. They're used for any number of things where that's not really their initial purpose or design. And they don't work effectively in that. But as you said, they do alter the way that the brain chemistry works. And then there's a real a negative cascade that happens there afterwards.
If you're out there today, though, I encourage you to make a list of the things you're not willing to sell. Not because, again, people argue about a lot of people argue about the motivation or the manipulative nature of sales. A lot of people get upset about that. Yeah. But before we get into how to sell stuff, let's write down a list of things we're not willing to sell. Mm-hmm. And if you're out there and you're willing to sell some of the things I'm not willing to sell, then that's fine. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm not going to sell cigarettes or vaping supplies, me personally. Yeah. Nor will I work with clients that do sell those things. Now, you might be a great person out there, and you might just think that you want to. You're like the Jumanji of vape. You're like the ape of the vape. You just love to sell. You are just passionate about vaping supplies. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Jason, have you seen some incredible vaping supplies some of the employees have brought into some of the stores?
They're nuts. Some of them, I would not feel good putting that up to my face.
What kind of stuff have you seen?
Like, some of them are about the size of, if Breck and I put our fists together, it's a box about that big with a little nozzle, all these little beeping lights. We had one guy's who's talked to him in a British accent. You turn it on, it would be like, hello. Are you serious? I'm very serious.
I don't know about that. So all I'm saying is you have to make a list of the things you're not willing to sell, because as Oren points out, once you learn how to sell something, it's easy. Mm-hmm. And so you got to figure out, what are you going to sell and what are you not going to sell. And I deal with that all the time. We have so many great listeners like you that will reach out to us. They'll go to thrivetimeshow.com and they'll watch testimonials. I think as of just about 6 months ago, we passed over 1,000 video testimonials from Thrivers who are implementing the system and having success. Nice. And they'll call us, though. A lot of times they'll call us and they want to work with our coaching program on a one-on-one basis. And I've got a couple things that I'm willing to do and not willing to do. Right. One, I'm not willing to take on more than 160 clients. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, why? I like to know everybody. Mm-hmm. I like to meet them at a conference and say, hey, and know their name or know their business. Or I like to have that personal touch. I personally make every business plan. Right. And you might say, Clavis, that's a limiting belief. It is. Right. It's a very limiting belief. But I don't want to grow just for the sake of growing. I actually just want to have 160 clients. Also, I don't want to work with people I don't like, because money is a magnifier. And once you teach somebody how to sell well, which is what we do, and if they're a jerk, Jason, what happens?
They invite other jerks, or it just makes the whole thing weird.
And you've seen some of these people where I'm sure, Jason, you've seen somebody at a conference before and you've thought, oh, they're not a right fit.
Yes.
Have you ever had that thought?
And before I felt bad, but then after I started to learn, okay, well, you need to get those type of people out of your life in order to have a good life, I realized that was fine. But yeah, no, there have been tons of people where you just see him in the back and he's like stewing. Like he's doing that like aggressive nod, like he's just waiting for you to stop so he could just attack.
There we go. So if you're out there today, make a list of the things that you're not willing to sell. Because once you learn the sales systems, once you learn the secret moves, you're going to be able to sell anything to anybody if you want to. So be careful. It's not worth exchanging your soul for money. And again, I think there's a Bible verse I'm thinking of. It's let me see. What good is it to lose your soul? Let me find it. Thrivers out there, somebody out there is going, I know that verse. Well, that's great, but it's a podcast.
World,
but I don't.
your soul.
There you go. Mark 8:36 reads, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" I repeat, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? And now, without any further ado, back to our interview with the best-selling author Oren Klaff.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
So that was the origin stories. I didn't know how to do it, and I really ever since then I'm just committed to finding better and better ways to pitch, convince, and close.
A lot of our listeners out there maybe are not familiar with the phrase pitch deck. Could you explain what that means for some of our listeners that just aren't familiar with that terminology?
Yeah, so pitch deck is a thing you have off the back of your house. You step out on it, and if you want to throw a baseball,
Nice.
So,
Wow, I'll write that down.
right there.
That's good notes.
So anytime I think you ask a bank for a loan, a private equity group to invest in your company, a relative to invest in you, a friend to invest in you, they want to know what's the plan. And a pitch deck basically says, what's the big idea here? What, right? And it's where you convince people, why does the world need another coffee machine, mouse trap, type of mouse, keyboard, SaaS software, accounting software, sunglasses, a bottle to hold hot coffee? Why does the world need another one of what you're thinking about? Right? What's the plan? Is the plan realistic? And how does this look like other plans that worked out? The pitch deck is basically the 8-9 page explanation of why this is a good idea, why the world needs it now, how we're going to succeed, who's going to do the work, and how we're going to make money.
I have read the book, or more of like a brochure almost, but the book called Pitching Hacks, which was written by Naval Ravikant there.
Yeah.
And in that book, it gives kind of a template on page 55 of all the things you should have. The cover, the summary, who's on the team, the problem, the solution, technology, marketing, sales, competition, milestone, all that. Do you have a kind of a template that you would direct our listeners to check out? Do you have kind of a one that because you've made so many of these, do you have one you say, hey, go look at that. That's what a pitch deck should look like?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I would go up a level, right, and say the pitch deck is the unlock code. It's the key to unlock a money, an agreement, a contract from whoever it is you're going to pitch.
Dr. Breck, a lot of people see your success now. They go to drbreck.com and they say, wow, this guy is a top chiropractor. Wow, this guy's got a ton of reviews, a ton of patients. He's helping thousands of people. You're making money. You're profitable. And they might look at that and say, wow. But let's go back to the beginning.
Sure.
Did you have to go out and get a small business loan to get started?
I actually didn't get a small business loan
Really?
to get started. No. I had saved up money.
Ooh.
And
Controversial idea.
Yeah, right. Some of that was student loan money, so that never goes away. So even if you file bankruptcy or anything else, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good move, because a small business loan, if you do file bankruptcy, it actually goes away. Student loans don't, and so you're going to owe that money regardless. But my wife and I were married just before I started chiropractic school. We took out a little bit more of the student loan money than we actually absolutely needed for tuition.
Got it.
And we just saved some of that back so that we would have some money to get started.
Now, you where'd you go to college at?
I went to Oklahoma State, and then I went to Parker University.
So I want to make sure the listeners out there understand how you've learned to pitch, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
Sure.
One, you say to all of our listeners, most of our listeners are all over the world. We've got listeners now in South Korea, New York, and Florida. You have a client, Jason, in Australia.
Oh yeah, Big David.
Big Dave. We got clients in Canada. I mean, all over the world.
Right.
But what happens is a lot of people in the Tulsa area, They go, okay, I hear about this Dr. Brett guy on the radio. I've heard that voice. I'm going to give him a try. I'm going to check out his website.
Right.
So they go to drbrett.com, and there they are in all its glory. And they go up there, and they go, you know, what's the pitch? What's the deal? What's the no-brainer? What's the hot offer? And I believe, if I'm correct, you offer a free first exam.
Yes.
And a free x-ray.
Correct.
And a free adjustment.
Correct.
Why?
Well, because we have to make that introduction. We want it to be a no-brainer. We want it to be an absolutely ridiculous offer that no one should refuse.
I can't think of why anybody would have reservations of checking that deal out.
Right.
Because it's $1. No, it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
You're cheaper. Elephant in the Room, it's $1. You're free.
Yeah, my first haircut at Elephant in the Room was $1.
Man, we're gouging people at Elephant in the Room. We're charging $1 and you're free. It turns out $1 is like a lot bigger than $0.
It is true.
So if you're out there listening today, I ask you this. How are you going to pitch your thing? What is your no-brainer? What's your hot deal you're going to offer your customers? Because if you don't have that hot deal, that no-brainer offer, you're not going to get the leads. Now, in the event that you get the leads, you still have to then explain to people all the benefits that are included in what you're paying for over there, that business. So, Jason, if I'm out there knocking on the door of the website of Elephant in the Room, and I'm thinking about coming in the door and coming in and checking out the $1 haircut, what all do I get with that first haircut?
Oh, man. So you get a complimentary beverage. Ooh. You get the tailored haircut itself, shampoo and condition, both of the scalp massage, essential oil, peppermint scalp massage.
Now, will you do the scalp massage? Because if so, I'm in.
Sometimes.
Oh, wow. Okay, keep going.
Let's see. Okay.
Face,
was working on the pitch there.
facial lotion.
So you get the face moisturizer, and then we do a full style. So however you want to do it, wet, dry look. I know you're a fan of the wet look.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But you also, while you're going through the process of getting your hair washed, you get the awesome paraffin hand wax. And so that whole experience, it's like, 30 minutes of glory for just $1.
And you again, it's something where we have to pitch it to you. And I don't feel bad about pitching it to you. I don't feel bad about saying on a daily basis on a radio show that you should check out drbrek.com. I don't feel bad about saying check out drbrek.com. Why? Because I know that what he does is of value and it solves a problem for you. And therein lies the problem, is when you can solve a problem for people, you shouldn't feel bad about trying to convince people to pay you to solve their problem.
Right.
Now, you should feel bad if you're trying to convince people to pay you for not doing anything, which is why I have a huge moral, ethical issue with people out there who are seeking to make completely passive income without offering anything of value. I see people all the time trying to start a marketing company that's turnkey, set it and forget it. It doesn't work. I've seen so many people out there trying to start a garden that doesn't require weeding. I see so many people out there trying to start a family without investing the time with their kids. I see so many people getting married, wanting to have a passive, stress-free marriage without investing the time to work through the various issues that will come up over time as your expectations and communication maybe fail to meet each other's expectations from time to time. You can't have a completely passive something. You've got to offer something of value in exchange for the money that you seek. So if you're out there today and you're trying to pitch something, you have to say, what are the problems that I can solve for the people? What are the problems that I can solve for my current customers? What are other problems that I can solve for my ideal and likely buyers? If you're a startup, write down a list right now of all of the things that you can do to solve problems for humanity, because people will pay you to solve problems. I mean, Dr. Breck, do you typically push mow your own lawn?
I used to. I don't now.
That the 37 acres I was looking at yesterday. I was
Yeah,
telling
that's a lot
Aubrey,
to push mow.
I kept telling Aubrey, the real estate agent's asking us about the property and what we think. And I'm telling Aubrey, I said, Aubrey, I'm going to have to get you a new push mower. And he's like, Dad, this would take my entire life. And I go, yeah, but then you do it every week. So it's a Kaizen thing. You just continual improvement. But seriously, if you're out there and you're saying, I don't know what problems I could solve. I know of many successful entrepreneurs that started by mowing lawns.
Right.
You knock on the neighbor's door. Hey, neighbor, I'd like to mow your lawn. And the neighbor says, well, I already have a company that mows it. And you say, well, I'll do it for half of what they're charging. Why? Because you probably make more money per hour than you're making at your current job. And the neighbor's willing to get a good deal, wants to get a good deal.
Right.
And if you do it cheaper and better, you're in the game.
Yeah.
Now, as you get bigger, your costs will rise because you have management and different layers and insurance and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't know what to do to start a business, if you're a wantrepreneur out there, just write down a list of the problems that you can solve. And if you have a business, write down a list of the additional problems that you can solve for your ideal and likely buyers. And Dr. Breck, what did it take for you to get over the hump of feeling bad about pitching something, of trying to sell something? When did you resolve in your mind that, hey, I am solving a problem for people, and I shouldn't feel bad about it?
I think that was actually the switch, was when I wasn't selling anything, when I was just offering them a solution. And that solution comes at a cost. And so it wasn't so much, it's not a sales. You're not a used car salesman. You're not sleazy in any way. It's just, this person has an issue. They have a problem. I have a solution. And intellectually, energetically, physically, it's worth value. And so there's an exchange. And that was it. You know, it's just that switch in the mind.
I think, though, a lot of people even struggle with coming up with a no-brainer. Have you ever struggled, Dr. Breck? Did you struggle with the idea of coming up with a no-brainer, or was that pretty easy for you right away?
That wasn't so difficult. No, I mean, I think depending on what your market, where you're at in the marketplace, you have to differentiate yourself. You have to stand out, and there's a lot of noise. And so to get that initial interaction, it makes sense to have a no-brainer. You've got to. I knew that the quality of our service was high, that we would wow them if we can get them through the door. And so the problem, the hurdle that we had to overcome, was getting the client through the door. And so a no-brainer like we offer does that, and then from there we can continue to wow them.
Jason, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but early on in my career, one of my first jobs was trying to sell brakes.
Brakes, like for a car?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I've got audio of me attempting to sell the brakes. I'm going to cue it up here, and I just think you could maybe tell me where I got this wrong. So a lot of times we get nervous when we're doing sales. When we first start out in our sales career, it's easy to get nervous when you go in to pitch something because you don't know the system yet. You haven't scripted out your questions for building rapport. You haven't scripted out your questions for finding the needs. You haven't scripted out your benefits. And you haven't documented the facts that support what you're saying, and you don't have a good call to action. And if there's any objections at all, you really don't know what to do. And so I'm going to cue up some audio of my first early sales pitches, and you can tell me what you think I may have done wrong during this particular pitch. Let me cue it up here.
What I'm trying to say is that our new brake pads are really cool. You're not even going to believe it. Like, let's say you're driving along the road with your family, and you're driving along, la-li-la, woo, and then all of a sudden there's a truck tire in the middle of the road, and you hit the brakes. Whoa, that was close. Now let's see what happens when you're driving with the other guy's brake pads. You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, truck tire. I can't stop! There's a cliff! And your family's screaming, oh my God, we're burning alive! No, I can't feel my legs! Here comes a meat wagon! And the medic gets out and says, oh my God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you want to save a couple extra pennies.
See, and I see a lot of people though who are great people. In all sincerity, they're great people. And just for clarity, I did not start out selling brakes. I did work at Applebee's.
For Callahan?
But that's about how it sounded when I tried to pitch dessert items. But a lot of us just get nervous right away, and we get kind of awkward. You know, we're not an awkward person, but then we get awkward when we're trying to do sales. We kind of get into that weird sales mode. Dr. Breck, have you ever seen this phenomenon?
I've experienced it, yeah. I feel like I've been there.
Yeah, it's now let me go ahead and cue up another audio. This is other audio of me earlier in my career trying to sell different products. Let me cue it up here.
I like your prices. There's a problem. There's no guarantee on the box.
Heck, if something breaks down, you can call me, even if I'm home watching TV.
Callahan has guaranteed every part sold since 1925.
Maybe so, but it's not on the box. It should always be on the box, comforting you, calling out, I'm good. I'll never let you down. But if I do, I'm going to make things all better.
Our brake pads are made with a non-corrosive polyplated...
Son, if you're not talking about a guarantee, skip it. My customers need to see that little label looking them right in the eye.
Hey, you can get a good look at your butcher.
What?
Remember, chicken wings. Chicken wings.
All right, you want to talk about guarantees, then...
Fellas, you just ran out of time.
See, what happens is with sales, again, you're meeting somebody and you have a limited amount of time
Right.
to make your pitch.
True.
So you've got to, A, build rapport with the person. B, you got to find their needs, find what problems do they have. And then you show how you can solve those problems, and then you call them to action. Now, when you do the call to action, there will be an objection of some kind, and you have to be prepared to deal with that. You isolate the objection, and you call them to action again, and that is how you do it. And without any further ado, back to our interview with Mr. Oren Klaff.
Right? So one of the problems with these templates is, you take pitching hacks, right, in that template, and you go pitch an angel investor for your whatever SaaS software, dating app for grandmas. That's going to be a huge hit.
Dating app for grandmas.
Right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so, you go, what's the big idea? What's the problem? What's the solution? What traction do you have? What's the team composed of? Who's the competition? What are your KPIs? What's the pro forma, or what's the financial plan? How much money do you need? Why are you asking for that amount of money? How you're going to use that money, and what holes in the team you're trying to fill, and what the timeline is, right? So that's the basic format. I'm not even looking at it, but I'm just guessing that's what that book would have in it. So that's the unlock code for a early stage investor. But too much of the world is focused on that first $100,000, that first $500,000, that first $1 million. That's nothing, right? There's dozens of other kinds of deals that need to be done. So if that's the unlock code for a little bit of money, you take that same pitch, right? And you want to now, so you got $500,000 from an investor. Now you want to go lease a facility, right? In downtown Los Angeles, downtown San Francisco, downtown Boston, whatever, a place there where you can do the work and have the people that you're hiring feel comfortable, and your customers come in and place to work with them. And so the landlord goes, hey, submit your application, and you give them the same pitch, right? And they go, vision, mission, big idea, plan. We don't care about any of this stuff. So the point is, the pitch that worked for the early stage investor is nonsensical to a landlord trying to lease you some space. And you go, okay, I'm starting to figure this game out. I just got to fill out the application. We don't need a big idea to rent a facility. We just need cash in the bank, which we have. And then you go, okay, we're doing some important work here on this dating app for grandmas and poker and hamsters or whatever it is. And the National Institute of Health has a grant in the area that you're working in, right? And so you go take your pitch deck, your pitch that got you $500,000 and the pieces that got you a lease, and you're busy, so you pull all those pieces together and you submit it to the National Institute of Health, and they go, what? Balance sheet, big idea, holes in the management team, pro forma plan, what is this? We do science here, right? So a pitch deck is the things that the buyer needs to know in order to buy what you have. Maybe Pitch Anything was all about, in some ways you can think about it, is giving people the information they need in the order that they need it, in the amount of detail they can absorb, in a way that keeps them interested so they pay attention and never get distracted. And then some things to do at the close, right? As you know from listening or reading the book, people want what they can't have. People chase that which moves away from them, and people only value that which they pay for.
People want what they can't have. People chase that which moves away from them, and people only value that which they pay for. People want what they can't have. People chase that which moves away from them, and people only value that which they pay for. People want what they can't have. People chase that which moves away from them, and people only value that which they pay for.
This is so scrumptious.
Is this hand shucked?
Would you like some more chicken, Bob?
So really, whatever's in the pitch deck that the buyer needs, the paradox of pitching is that the moment you offer somebody your deal, what it is you have, your product, your service, your idea, the moment you offer it to them, they don't want it anymore. Whoa. People want what they can't have. So how do you offer something to someone without, in fact, offering it at all? And that is the thin red line that goes through the middle of every important deal that's ever been done. Offering somebody something important, valuable, desirable, in a way that they're not even sure if they can get it, but they know they want it. So that's what Pitch Anything, to me, was all about.
All right, let's get back into real estate for a second.
Yes.
We're looking at a lot of properties.
Mm-hmm.
And just to make this real and to give you some examples,
Right.
is we're looking at properties, a lot of them. And any time that I express any positive interest in any property,
Right.
what do you think, Dr. Breck, that the real estate agents have been doing most of the time? Most of the time. Whenever I express any interest at all in the property, what do you think the skilled real estate agents are doing?
Well, you know we've got 3 other buyers right behind you.
And it's a delicate dance because they'll say, well, hey,
there's already an offer.
This
but-
property's been listed for a long time, and it might not sell for years. Or, I mean, just last week I sold a property that had been listed for just a month, and boom, a buyer. I mean, that's how land deals work. I mean, they might happen, they might not. I mean, it's in this time of year. You think about, if you think about, typically the real estate agents have noticed that home buyers are really buying this time of the year.
Right.
The home buyers during the summer. But with land, now land is a tricky thing because when people go back to school, that's when people buy land.
Of course.
And this is the time, and right now, and so I'm not saying that you have to feel any pressure. I don't want you to feel any pressure.
Right.
But I do want you to know, just full disclosure, that I have sold a piece of land last week that had been listed for years.
Well,
so I just want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying there's that. Right? Is that not?
I don't want you to. I mean, if you like it, I don't want you to lose it.
But the moment a person puts like hardcore sales breath, like they say, "Here's the deal. This land, we have 3 buyers right now, and if you don't decide right now, the deal's off." The moment you put that kind of pressure on somebody, it's too much.
Too much.
It's a balance, though, because people want what they can't have. That right there, that was some great knowledge bombs right there. Jason, I mean, think about that. Elephant in the room. It's like we want to give people a great experience, right?
Yep.
And legitimately, we could accommodate approximately 4,000 members. And will you explain legitimately why that's about our peak threshold for those particular 3 stores?
That's about as many chairs as we can fit in each shop and as many employees as we can staff to take care of them. And so on top of that, though, like his first point is people want what they can't have. When our membership numbers are low, which most of the time the customers don't know that, but when they were like right before that like 3,000 period, we had a lot more people who were like, let me think about it. Let me go home.
With 4,000 members, it just feels busy, and you're like, the biggest issue we have now, the number one reason for cancellation at Elephant in the Room right now is what?
Can't get in.
They can't get in for a haircut. Our members, we can only accommodate 4,000 members, and if you don't pre-book your next haircut, I mean, you might not be able to get in.
I've experienced that.
Because we're booked out all the time, and that is a thing. So, again, Dr. Breck, what's the balance there? Because you don't want to put too much pressure on people.
Right.
But you got to let them know that as a chiropractor, what's the most numbers of patients that you guys can accommodate over there in a given day?
Well, currently we're seeing about 65, 70. We could see probably about 80 in a day.
But that's about the most.
That's about the most.
And people come in there and they get the impression you're busy.
Yeah.
Because you are busy.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a good problem, but it's a problem when we're standing room only. And we're doing our best to accommodate everybody that's coming through the door. But we also, have people who are trying to book first-time appointments, and they have to wait a couple of weeks. If you're hurting, that's a problem.
I would encourage you to put Oren Klaff's book to work. Put it to work and take the time needed today to script out your 5 rapport-building questions. Script out your 5 needs-finding questions, the problems you can solve. Write down those 5 questions to find the needs. Script out your 3 to 5 benefits, how you solve problems, and make sure you script out the facts that support what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Breck, why should we take the time needed to script out the rapport-building questions, the needs-building questions, the actual benefits, and the call-to-action quotes, as well as the FAQs, the frequently asked questions?
Right.
Why is that important?
Well, I love scripts. To me, a script is just the ideal answer to a situation that you know is inevitably going to come up.
Yep.
And so if you don't have it scripted, you're going to shoot from the hip and miss points that you would have wanted to say. As soon as that conversation's over, you're going to regret. And you'll go back and say, oh, I wish I'd said this. I wish I would have done that. And a script is just an opportunity to do that in advance. And that way you don't miss those things and you don't have regrets when the conversation's over. And you can do that with so many different aspects. But, yeah, you're more likely to operate in your ideal situation if you've already pre-gamed, pre-planned, and worked through it, even role-played it.
And now, without any further ado, back to our interview with Oren Klaff. In the book, there are so many knowledge bombs there. But what I wanted to do is I wanted you to maybe see if you could tee off on one idea that broke my mind. You were talking about frame control in the book, and it's just, and you're a good writer. I'm just a slow reader, so I had to listen to it a couple times. Could you try to explain to our listeners what frame control is all about, just as a kind of a teaser of the kinds of knowledge bombs they can find in that book?
Yeah, I mean, one example I might use is, you walk into, we've all done this, you go to meet some friends downtown, wherever you are, and you walk into the restaurant where you're supposed to meet, and there is a cacophony of noise. There's waiters and bartenders, there's a bar going, they got TVs playing, there's some frat boys and high-fiving in the corner, and there's a family, having a family reunion, and there's couples, at tables, and the maitre d' walks out, and there's music playing, and it's just an overwhelming stimulus. Your friends are right there, 15 feet in front of you. They're waving their hands at you, right? And you're scanning the restaurant, looking for them. You can't see them. They're waving their hands at you. And then finally they have to dispatch someone to come and shake you and go, oh, we're right over here. You go, oh, now you can see them. Right? I think that's the good metaphor that we think about for framing. Most people come into a situation with you. They step in, and that's what's going on. There's too much information. There's too much noise. It's too loud in too many different directions, and they can't pick out the important information out of the scene, out of the interaction with you. And the reality is, even if it's just you and them in a conference room, on a Skype, on a phone call, it's a similar situation. So you have to frame reality. You have to put a box around it that limits many, many, many pieces of information, excludes them. So, and it highlights just what they need to know, right? So everybody comes to a situation with a frame. You walk in that restaurant with a giant frame. You're looking at everything, right? Your friends, their frame looking for you is just the front door. It's very small. They see you walking in, no problem, right? And so frames are things that interact. They come together. When I want to sell someone $1 million deal, right? They bring a perspective. That's their frame. An idea, values, money, situation, needs, personal comfort, things that's going on in their personal lives, things that are going on there. So all of that is their frame on how this should work. And you're bringing your values, your ideas, your money, your comforts, your discomforts, your goals, the things you're striving for, your frustrations. And these frames don't match up. Right? It's not like there's a perfect match like a child's toy. So these frames come and they bang together, right? And they crash into each other. And that's why deals take days, weeks, months, years to come together, because the frames aren't aligned. People aren't seeing it the same way. You want to see a deal done in like 10 seconds. A guy walks up to a soda machine, wants a bottle of water, right? Oh, water's $1. I have $1. Frames collide, interact, match up perfectly, put the dollar in, water comes out, boom, that was easy, right? Now you raise it above a bottle of water and $1 to two people trying to do a $20,000 deal, $50,000 deal, $1 million deal, whatever it is. Now the frames are very complicated and they crash into each other and they don't fit. So the art of selling is getting someone to see the deal through your lens, to adapt their frame to yours. And that's what framing is.
How much money have you helped? How much money have you raised throughout your career, if you had to estimate?
Yeah, I mean, billions.
Billions. He just said billions.
Billions with a B.
Billions.
I like that he started though with a. I mean,
it's like no big deal.
If you're out there struggling to sell anything, so like the great philosopher, American poet, musician Michael Jackson said, "You are not alone." There are many, many people out there that struggle to sell and to sell well. I think, in fact, the majority of the people struggle to sell well. I've met so many top entrepreneurs who told me that the big change in their life that happened with our coaching program was learning how to sell something. Dr. Breck, there's got to be somebody out there listening right now who's like, but I don't want to pressure people. I don't want to put any pressure, and I just don't want to ask for the sale. What would you say to somebody out there who's a good person, but they're having a little pushback about selling something?
I would honestly say that's going to be more of an issue of your passion for what you are offering. If you've got the solution, you don't have to really sell it. I mean, you just, as Oren's saying, I mean, you've got to match up the frames to allow the other party to see, the value in what you're bringing to the table. And then it's just an exchange of energy. Money is just a different energy. You're bringing, maybe it's intellect or it's a certain skill set or, if you're a plumber, you've got the fix for the broken pipe.
You've got the move.
And so, they've got the money. You exchange the move for the money. And it's
you exchange the move for the money.
Yeah, I mean, their money is worth your move. Your move is worth their money. And so it becomes less of a pressure thing. It becomes less awkward. It's more matter of fact.
Jason, what advice would you have for somebody out there who's struggling to get over the mental hump of selling something? Because I see a lot of people just struggling to sell something. Mentally, it's like it's a huge, I don't know what it is. It's like a huge mental block.
Yeah. Well, take it from the guy who used to get a bonus based off of selling. My paycheck and my wallet depended on it. So for the sake of the contents of your wallet, get comfortable with sales. I mean, it's that simple. If you're not comfortable with sales, you're not going to be able to grow your business. And why are you in business in the first place?
True.
I'm going to dedicate this song to you, Jason. Sell something.
Oh.
Sell something.
I love
Sell
that.
something. Sell something. Here we go, Jason. Sell something. Seriously, you Jason, if you're out there, you got to sell something.
You have to.
What if you don't want to, though? What happens, Dr.
You've
Brett?
got to remove
happens?
that personal rejection of it. They're not saying no to you as a human being. It may not be the right time. It may not be the right price. Your move may not be worth that money. If you've priced it right, then it is. And you're going to get no's. I mean, no's happen, and you've got to get comfortable with the no.
I think so. You just hit on something that needed to be said here. Let me cue it up here.
What if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid? You got no future. I mean, I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection.
I think there's somebody out there that's saying that in their inner dialogue. Like, I just can't handle that kind of rejection.
Right.
So I'm going to take this conversation to a different place, and hopefully a place where you, as the listener, can receive this. I believe that nobody out there, whether you were born intentionally, okay? So let's say that you were born unintentionally or intentionally. What do I mean by that? I mean, let's say you have no idea who your dad was. Your dad and your mom, they met. They produced a baby in the back seat of a Winnebago. They produced a baby on the back of a Honda. They produced a baby at a park, at a concert, and you don't know who your dad is, or you don't know who your mom is. Either way, I believe that everybody out there was created by God, and there's nobody out there who's an accident. Therefore, I believe that you are somebody who has value. I do fundamentally believe that. Therefore, whether I reject you and your idea or accept your idea, whether I buy from you or don't, I cannot diminish the value that you have or add to the value. In my opinion, I believe your value comes from knowing that you are intentionally designed, that whoever made this planet and made you didn't do it randomly. So my whole mindset when I go into sales is that I don't care if you reject me or receive what I have to say, because I don't get my self-esteem from you.
Right.
I don't get my self-esteem from my wife. I don't get my self-esteem from my pastor. I don't get my self-esteem from how much money I have in the bank, because there's times I've had a lot, times I've had very little, times I've had no money, times I've had a ton of money. And at the end of the day, when I go home and put my head to bed, all I need is the air I breathe, right? That's all I need. And as long as I'm above the ground, it's profound. But I'm not going to sit there and lament about the last rejection I had.
Right.
And the people who are the most successful, this is crazy, they actually have the most rejections.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about this podcast and the fact that we actually booked Oren Klaff on the show,
Right.
you might go, wow, that's amazing. No. What's amazing is how many times people like Oren Klaff have told me no. Thrive Nation, literally, we have had thousands and thousands of top-level entrepreneurs and success stories tell me no. And when I hear the word no, this is what I hear. I'd like some more information. Oh, you want some more information? Mm. So when you say, I'm definitely not interested, no. I hear, is there any way you could give me some more information, just a little more? And I'm like, oh, okay. I view no as a request for additional information. Right. And I will call you until you cry, buy, or die, because I do not care about my feelings more than I care about my goals. See, that is that right there. That's something that somebody needs to hear, because somebody out there.
That's a notable quotable.
This is somebody out there. When this is what you're thinking right now. This is what you're saying to your wife when you go out to sell something today, or this is what you're saying to your husband or to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. This is what you're saying to either to people around you, or you're saying internally. Your inner dialogue is saying this.
I mean, what if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid? You got no future. I mean,
what if they say that?
So what?
So what?
Right.
What if they say no? What if they say, they're going to say no? You've got to get 100 no's to get a yes. You've got to get 100 no's to get a yes. 100 no's equals a yes. It takes 100 no's to equal a yes, and that is how you achieve success. Somebody should write that down. Holy crap. It's 100 no's equals a yes, and that is how you achieve success. That's how you do it. There's no other way. This ridiculousness to think that you and your beautiful new idea and your beautiful business and your beautiful packaging is going to somehow be so good that you don't need to sell it. Really? Really? Okay. Henry Ford lost it all how many times? 5 times. He went bankrupt 5 times. Walt Disney lost it all twice. Thomas Edison tried to invent a functional light bulb 10,000 times. 10,000 experiments his team logged. Do you realize how many rejections that is? Look up the Dyson vacuum guy. That guy, it took him over a decade to figure it out. The homeboys who are running ESPN, took them over a decade to make a profit. Fred Smith, who started FedEx, it took him over a decade. Look up their stories. Quit celebrating when they get across the finish line and look at the messy middle. Look at the crap they had to go through to get to where they are, and it's always rejection. And I'm telling you, by default, I don't know people. I don't run into the average person who deals well with rejection. Why? Because you think it somehow diminishes your value, and you put your value in what other people say about you. Jason, you just finished reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Boop. Tell us about the core message in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Boop. A great book, by the way.
Oh, it's an amazing book, but the core message is you only have a certain amount of, let's call them F's, that you can give
feelings.
Per day. Feelings. Yeah, you only have a certain amount of feelings that you can give to everything that comes your way in one day. And it helped me because I realized I was trying to allocate my feelings well above their capacity. And I was not being productive. I was not happy. And then now I realize I have certain things that my life benefits from by focusing feelings on those. And then everything else, I just forget it and I'm just zen the rest of the day.
But if I get rejected, I'm not going to sit there and lament.
Right.
If I get...
no feelings given.
As an example, I have tried to interview... Somebody should look this up. I've tried to interview Bill Belichick many times, the coach of the New England Patriots. And his personal assistant, his chief of staff, his right-hand man, is Berj Najarian. B-E-R-J Najarian.
Mm-hmm.
And Berj has rejected me. I can't even tell you how many times.
Right.
So much so that I decided to do a show devoted to Berj Najarian and his genius.
Mm-hmm.
And now I come up top in Google when you search for Berj Najarian. Have I shown you that, Dr. Breck?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but again, it doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of funny.
Right.
Breck.
Because you're just one step closer.
Right.
You're going to meet the man.
I view rejection as a stepping stone to my future success.
Mm-hmm.
It's like each rejection, I'm like, oh, I'm getting closer. Breck, have I told you how I convinced my wife to marry me?
No, I don't think I actually
Oh
did
my
hear
gosh,
that story.
it's impressive. So I propose,
Mm-hmm.
and typically when you propose and you get a no, it
Right.
typically doesn't work out.
Right.
But I proposed, and it was kind of reluctant, like
She needed more information.
Right, and she's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I got to finish college, and I'm like, she needs more information. And I worked for like a semester, probably a month, trying to convince her that I had the finances to do it. She wouldn't
Right.
have to drop out of school to do it. She could continue college if we got married, that I was the right fit, that I had a plan. And I was a disc jockey, so it was a tough sell. There was a lot of selling was needed there.
I've met Vanessa. You married well above yourself.
I upsold.
You definitely did.
I just
outkicked your coverage.
Outkicked the coverage, folks. But again, there's somebody out there in your mind, and you're saying, Clay, can we move on? No, because if you're out there unable to move past rejection, you're never going to win. Quit saying this.
I mean, what if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid? You got no future. I mean, I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection.
That's what people say all the time, and I just want to ask you out there, why are you letting your feelings of rejection get in the way and stand in the way of you achieving your ultimate success? This is your year to be your best, but you've got to get 100 no's to get that yes, because that is what will lead to your ultimate success. And oh, by the way, your father-in-law won't like your business idea.
Guaranteed.
Oh, by the way, if he does like it, your mother-in-law won't.
Yep.
Oh,
True.
by the way, if they both like it, a customer won't like your logo. Oh, by the way, if the customer likes your logo and the parents are on board, your brother will be mad that you didn't hire him. And oh, by the way, if all those people are all copacetic and things are kumbaya, then your competitor is going to be pissed. And if, by the way, if your competitor's not pissed, then you're losing.
Yeah, if you're not upsetting some competitors, you're not doing something right.
But if you're just fearing rejection at all times, you can't win as a business owner.
No.
So get off the freaking field. If you can't resolve that in your mind, that you can push through rejection, you gotta deal with this entrepreneurial infection, because you're having like this entrepreneurial seizure right now where you think you want to be self-employed, but you can't handle it. If you can't handle rejection. Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I watched this Ty Lopez video about yachts. Of course you want a yacht. Unless you're mentally damaged, your brain damaged, you're going to want a nice car or a nice house. Of course, wanting success is so much different. It's so very different than being willing to do what it takes to have success. If you see a video that talks about, it's usually a guy with a British accent who's on the YouTube channel, and his backyard is a waterfall, and he says, "Hello there. Are you finding yourself working right now in a dead-end job? Do you want to have success and passive income? Do you just merely 6 months ago, I was slaving away at a job, and now I am self-employed and enjoying every minute of my passive income. Click here to learn my simple system, my secrets for success at my upcoming seminar. Click here to learn success." No, don't click here. Get the Start Here book. You can download the Start Here book. It's like a 500-page book. You can download it for free. Read the things in the book for free, by the way. You can go to thrivetimeshow.com, go to thrivetimeshow.com, and download the Start Here book for free. And then also download Search Engine Domination for free. Download the book. It's go to thrivetimeshow.com, download the book, get the book, download it for free, and then implement everything in it. Implementation is the hard part. You see, ideas are easy, but it's implementation that's hard. And why is it hard? Because you're going to have to make your employees actually do their freaking job. And Dr. Breck, it turns out sometimes employees don't want to do their job.
No, they don't.
Why?
Well, they're the employees. They don't look at it as a business owner. They're not entrepreneurs.
But what if I have to manage my staff today and I feel rejection? What's going to happen? What if I fear rejection?
If you fear it, yeah, you're not going to be very productive at all. You're not going to have a good day.
They're going to eat you.
I mean, you've got to be the boss.
You've got to get over this fear of rejection. And now, without any further ado, back to our interview with I do this for a living. Our interview with Oren Klaff.
I mean, if we take all the people that said, "Hey, thanks for the training, thanks for the instruction. We just went out and raised money." I mean, I've worked on some deals that are multi-billion-dollar deals alone, but I've looked in the whites of the eyes of investors, and $300, $400, $500 million, gotten them to wire, send a check, send over, and so quite an extensive amount of dealing with money.
So you've written a book that's done very well. You have a massive collection of motorcycles. What inspired you to write this new book, Flip the Script? Why aren't you just riding motorcycles all day? Why aren't you just looking at trophies that you've gotten yourself or achievements you've done in the past? Why have you decided to move forward and to write another book, this new book, Flip the Script?
God damn it. That is the question of all time. We live by the beach here in Southern California, drive around in this stupid Lamborghini, got motorcycles. I got a little boy, 5 years old, so I'm late in life with a 5-year-old. We walk to the beach. Why can't I just leave well enough alone, right? I don't know. I've got an agent, and she pesters me. Can you write a new book? Well, and then ultimately, here's why. Things have changed dramatically. They're in the world today. We're so reliant on tech in the sales environment, right? Think of the thousands of companies that have CRMs and marketing management and funnel management and funnel hacking and Zapier and APIs for marketing and website integration, right? I mean, any little tiny thing that you need, web forms, anything that's in the marketing funnel has been automated and has some technology underneath it. The irony is, once you get a lead, it's not a click to buy, it's not a $2,500 purchase. It sort of gets up into $5,000, $25,000, right? You got to talk to someone, get in a room with them.
Oh, get out of here. You got to talk to people? Real people? No. We want a click funnel. We want a click funnel. Yeah, talk to people.
So once it's out of the click funnel and somebody goes, you know what? I have a question. It looks good, but $50,000. I got a couple questions.
Ooh.
Then the irony is there's no technology. Any technology at all will make it worse, right? Oh, my presentation is just trying to load. I can't get Skype to turn on. Dropbox didn't move the file. Any technology.
Preach
at
it.
The point of, I would like to talk to you about this deal, makes things worse. And so we're so dependent on technology and lead management. Leads are abundant, and conversion is dropping and dropping. And human to human conversion is, people don't understand it today, and it has changed, right? Because buyers have been by Amazon gamified. That the moment you tell them what all the features are, what all the benefits are, and what the price is, they go, hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. There's something we're very interested in. If you could just send over the deck and send over the proposal. If we have any additional questions, we'll check back with you in a week or two. I have to show this to my partner, the management committee, the board of directors, the Shamu, the whale, and Sasquatch, who we have tied up out back, and he reviews all of our deals before we sign them off. And so there's this sense of people that whatever it is you have can be, a coupon code exists for it, or it can be gotten for less from another firm, or it can be had for free. But they're damn sure not going to buy it from you until they've tried the system, to get it, to find it somewhere else, or, to find some information about you, which allows them to lever you into a lower position. That's how buyers behave today. If you don't understand that, I'll explain it like this. I've been increasing my running volume, so I'm up to more than 20 miles a week, 22, 23 miles. And I'm also at CrossFit. I'm also riding a bicycle, and I'm also Methuselah, older than anybody who could be possibly listening to this. So I need some equipment for recovery. And there's this thing called Normatec. Do you know what these things are?
Normatec?
Yeah.
Is that a Sky vodka product?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's also these compression recovery units. You put your legs in them, and they compress with airbags in a certain sequence that's supposed to, revitalize your equipment, your legs.
Well, you're looking good, by the way. You're looking good. I'm looking at you right now, and your face looks revitalized. I don't see a lot of leg shots here, but your head shots look incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, continue. I'm sorry. Back to you. I just
revitalized. So I'm in good shape. And so I needed a pair of Normatecs. So I go to normatec.com, and they're $2,500 and go, okay, I need them. I can afford them. My coach told me to get them, but I go, hop over to Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I'm trained to do that. Oh, on Amazon, they're $2,300. Okay, All right, let me get them from Amazon then. Amazon Prime, I'll get them in 2 days. Oh, wait, let me just hop over to eBay because, when you buy motorcycles, you're very eBay proficient because you need parts and stuff. So that it's only available. So on eBay, sure enough, used twice, right? $2,100. I moved from $2,500 to $2,100 just by in 60 seconds or less.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, I'll just get them from eBay. I won't get them tomorrow, but I don't need them tomorrow. You know what? Let me just check Craigslist. Yep, sure as hell. $1,900 used 3 times. Not doing triathlons anymore. Come get them.
Come on.
So you're rewarded. The buyer is rewarded for, in essence, looking for a product, a service, finding out he can get it, and saying that's an option. Now I'm going to stall that option, tell him, hey, it's basically go ahead. I just got to check with the committee. And then they're going to go out and look for cheaper, better, free.
There it goes.
If they can't find it, then they come back, negotiate you a little bit better. And they get smart. So buyers are incredibly smart. They gamify the system, and sellers don't have tools to deal with today's kind of buyer. And that motivated me to help people out.
So if I buy this book, Flip the Script, and Oren, I just want to make sure the listeners out there know the kind of financial sacrifice they're going to have to make to buy this book. So I'm going on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of rude to be typing while doing a show, but I'm going to look it up here. Andrew, look it up. We're going to look up the book here. I'll flip the script. I'm looking for the book. I see the book, and I noticed that if I were to buy the book right now, I would have to part with $22.19. Now it's a big shot author. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to get maybe, 15% of that, maybe? 10%?
Yeah, I'm going to get a buck. I'm going to get a buck.
Okay, this is I call this is a new thing I'm doing. It's called Support a Starving, Very Successful Author. And for as little as $1 a day, all the listeners, if we all do it $1 a day, we can support you so you can buy another Lamborghini. And I'm trying to help you raise that money. So I want to make sure the listeners check this out because this is going to require sacrifice, Oren. I can't go buy a regrettable burrito. I can't buy 17 energy drinks I shouldn't have. I can't watch half of a bunch of Netflix films. Oren, I'm going to have to sacrifice to get this book that could change my life because your book, Pitch Anything, I mean, that book changed the way I view presentations. And what year did that book come out, by the way?
Yeah, so that was 2009, 2010.
Dude, you're starving us, man. This is 10 years in the coming here. 10 years. This book, we've been waiting on it for 10 years. So the listeners out there, some of the listeners are out there going, hey, I'm on a budget. I can only buy 1 or 2 regrettable caffeinated beverages at a gas station per week now if I'm going to, cut back the budget to buy this book. So tell us, what can we find in this book, and why should we all sacrifice the money needed to buy this book?
Yeah, if you'd like to pitch anything, this book is going to blow you back in your socks. I think Pitch Anything showed you what was possible, that you could walk into a room of a bank, an investment firm, a potential huge client, a client that was going to make your year no matter what size the deal was, okay? And you could say, hey guys, it's 10 o'clock. I think we agreed to kick off. Actually, 10:03. If you're ready, why don't we get this thing kicked off? I know you're waiting for a couple people. Let's get started. We'll let them catch up. So we've been working pretty hard to get on each other's calendar. I don't know if we're smart or if we're just lucky, but we're super busy this time of year. I know you're busy too. We got a little bit of time together before you have to get back to the coal mine. We have to get back to work as well. I've prepared about a 15-minute presentation. I'm going to take you through it, and then we want to hear a little bit about you, because as much as you're evaluating us and trying to figure out, have we solved your kind of problem before? Are we good at it? What are our credentials? What are our ideas look like? What's our pricing model? As much as you need to know those things, we need to know things about you. And we like you. We wouldn't have come here and prepared to meet with you, and we're excited to do business with you. On the other hand, we see some things that are red flags that we want to spend some time clearing up before we would ever take you on board. So we got some work here to do today. Let's kick it off. Does anybody need fluids in or out? If not, let's get started. So
that was hot. You mean you're going to tell somebody who you are pitching to that you have some potential red flags about them?
If you don't, you're lost, right? Because otherwise you're obsequious, you're cloying, you're supplicating, you are, mollifying, you are trying to impress, you're needy, right? And if you don't do that, you just come across as needy, and worse, the buyers will just say, hey, I've seen this before, right? This, and they, if you're needy and you come across as needing their business, a couple things happen. They start to have power over you. And so Pitch Anything showed you that you could do this, that these frames exist, power frames, right? And how to deal with the power frames, and showed you that you don't have to walk in and say, thank you so much. We really appreciate you seeing us. I'm very excited to be here today. We're going to give you a presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt, at any time, and happy to answer them. You'll find that we have the best customer service. We try the hardest. If we are able to get a deal done, you find we're the best firm, and we'll work the hardest because the customer is always right. When you say that stuff, it encourages the buyer to think of themselves as powerful, right? As the most important party in that room, in that meeting. That's what Pitch Anything showed, right? The buyer isn't the most important party. You are the most important. What does the buyer have? They have a commodity, money. You get money anywhere, right? Well, the buyer has a problem, and you solve their, even if it's an investment, right? You saw the problem is they have to get money out, right? Or it just sits there, doing nothing. So you're the best at what you do. You're the most, you work the hardest at it.
Yep.
You're the most honest, ethical, forthright. You invest the most. You have done this. You come to the seller's office or come to a Skype and meeting with them because you know you can solve their problem, and you're dedicated. Nobody else is as dedicated to this specific problem as you are. They need you, right? So lots of times I will say, and the better you are at Pitch Anything, and the better you are at Flip the Script, the more honest you can become. I will say to buyers, listen, I'm sorry, we got sideways here. I don't know what happened. Let me clear this up. In order to do business with us, right, you have this problem. We don't have it. You have the problem, right? So in order to get this problem fixed, and we're probably the best people to fix it for you, you have to take money out of your account and put it in our account. That's the only way it works. So I don't know why you're saying these things, but I'm totally confused. We don't have another way of doing business where we become partners with you or whatever. So does that make sense?
You're
right?
establishing a timeline of when you're going to be done when you're pitching. I love that. That you're letting them know, hey, I got 15 minutes or whatever. I love that. I love that you bring up that you have some red flag concerns. Your book, it does it. Your books, plural, really do flip the script. They're an entirely different way to. That's why I was listening to your book multiple times while I was in Dallas. I just kept listening to it, going, "What is he saying?" And it seems so counterintuitive that it must be wrong. And I have a question for you about this, because I've now discovered that it is right. But I want to ask you. This is not a political show, but I want to get your take on this. Do you remember the debates when Trump was debating with Ben Carson and Jeb Bush? Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah.
I was personally wanting to vote. I was behind Ben Carson. That was my guy. And Ben's a smart guy, cardiologist, knows his thing. And I remember when Trump started off the debate by thanking him for being awake. I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I said, he's breaking his frame. He's doing the Oren Klaff.
That was absolute frame control, and those guys didn't know how to respond. And so that's why you have to get started with Pitch Anything. So I'll teach you the number one frame breaker that you can just use. So look, when you have a conference call with clients, on a small client, big client, I have calls with, $100 million guys, $500 million companies all the time. They will always come late, right? Because they're busy and you're pitching in, and it's lucky to get them to a call, but they never dial in at 10 a.m., right? And so they'll dial in at 10:03 or 10:05 or 10:06. If it's 10:09, we leave, right? I mean, that's an important lesson in frame control. You cannot be sitting on a conference line for 10 minutes and then let the buyer, or the prospect dial in knowing that you sat there twiddling your thumbs. That, they will absolutely be in a power position over you, and it won't work. There's nobody who would do it. It won't do it in Silicon Valley.
True.
It's not my opinion. It's not power plays. You just won't have a deal. In Silicon Valley, you're 5 minutes late, you're gone. That call is rescheduled or never, for sure. They beat to the drum of a German ticking clock. But anyway, So guys always dial in at 10:03, 10:04, right? And the first thing I say is I'll go, hey, Wolfgang, you're here for the 10:04 meeting? And I don't know why it works, but it's just frame control 101. And they always go, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. You know, we got a shipment that was stuck at the port. You know, it's a $100 million deal. I'm so sorry. I won't be late next time. So frame control, right? As you're saying, I always find a way to frame their behavior as a little bit awkward, right? In order to get frame control. If you don't have it, then the frame will be on you and they'll be controlling you.
Can you explain why? And again, I'm trying to give people examples that everyone can relate to. But when Trump was asked about building a wall, and whether you're in favor of a wall or not, and they, and the guy who's asking him the question says, "Hey, the head of Mexico says he's not going to help you build a wall," and then Trump responds with, "It just got taller." Why does that work? Like, why? Why does that work? Because some of the listeners out there are like, I know that everyone cheered and it's memorable, but why?
Let me tell you what's going on there and how you can apply it in your world today, okay? It's in this way. You do not have to chase every conversation thread that comes up. So if the buyer says, how do you compare to your other top 3 competitors? 99 of 100 salespeople start to go down that route, right? We would say, if somebody said to me, how do you compare to your top 3 competitors? You have to break that frame. You can't chase that thread, right? I would say we're exactly the same. We all do basically the same thing. You do not have to chase conversation threads that the buyer puts in front of you.
So good.
Right?
Oh.
How much is it? Right? Here's how you break that frame. How much is it? Right? Which is the analyst frame.
Yep.
Well, we all know how much it is. It's more than you want to pay and less than we want to charge. That's how much it always is. Listen. Here's what I can tell you. When we get to the price, I don't know what you need, right? It's not $400,000, but if you think you're going to get it for $100,000, you came to the wrong place, right? So it's somewhere in between there for sure. I could tell you, once we figure out everything that you need, we scribble down a price, you're going to go, that's what I thought. This is plain vanilla stuff right down the middle of the fairway. The pricing is not exotic. You want me to throw a price at it now? I don't know, $250, $300, $325, right? Let's talk for a little bit what you need. We give you a price and you go, yeah, that's normal. If you're telling me straight up right now, you want the absolute Costco, China, made in Taiwan, buy it today, keep the kid happy on Christmas Day, but it's broken the next day. If you want that version of it, that ain't us. And if that's where you're headed with this, let me know so I can help you. Because I know the guys it works one day on Christmas and it's broken the next day company. John over there is a good guy. That's what they have. And it's like, nothing. So if that's the one you want, just tell me. I'll hook you up with John. He'll take good care of you. But let me know what you need so I can help.
I certainly am not encouraging our listeners to insult people as a way to get ahead, but I want to just throw this out. You mentioned that these moves could be used for good and bad. And if you'll remember the elections when Trump was really behaving badly, do you remember where he kept encouraging Jeb Bush to stay awake? Do you remember that? He kept encouraging him to bring some energy. Do you remember that during the debates? He just kept going, good job, Jeb. Like Jeb would finish saying something, he'll, great job there, Jebby. Way to bring some energy. Like he just kept doing that, So why does that work? I believe in frame control, and some people don't even like the tone they're hearing from me here. And I can sure you can say this stuff in your own tone. Sure. But as you get better at pitch anything and flip the script, you'll be more direct, more succinct, shorter, and more open, transparent, and honest. And that's where this tone comes from. It comes from being honest and having values and saying, look, I'll help you out. I'll bend over backwards, but we'll do what we can. We won't stop when we're tired. We'll stop when we're done and all that stuff. But I won't move away from my values, right? And my values are we don't discount. My values are we spend time with our families. Our values are we're friends with our clients and customers. Our values are when we get an argument, which we always will do. No relationship
survives the dating period without getting an argument, we will always come back and work as hard as possible. The last call before we die will be to legal, and we'll do everything possible. We're very easy to get rid of. Just tell us you don't want us around. We'll leave you alone, give you your money back, all those things. But the one thing I won't do is change my values, right? And so that is a value determination, right? Do you enjoy making other people look bad in front of other people? I don't. Right. So everybody's experienced this, in a coffee shop.
Yep.
Right. Where your buddy is like, hey, I told you, I wanted half a packet of sugar, not a whole sugar. I want full foam and double cup it. Come on. Right. Whereas me, I'm just like, hey, whatever. It's not the coffee I wanted, but it's not but everybody has seen somebody belittle a waitress or a server. For Christ's sake. I mean, those guys are making enough money to maybe get by, living with a couple people and roommates and probably short on healthcare and all that stuff. Why berate and belittle them? So that's not my value, berating and belittling people. I have a good life. I don't like to lord it over people. So if I ram you with my Lamborghini, no.
Well, I have a fun.
So that's a value judgment. Right. And certainly, Trump has made that value judgment and he thinks it serves him. But in business, I just try and keep it clean. I do like to hold the buyer accountable for the values that I'm committed to. And that's what I think Flip the Script really shows you how to do. You decide where you are in pricing, where you are and how much time you're willing to spend with a buyer before they decide, how willing you are to accept this. Hey, send us a proposal, right? So for example, when people say to us, we don't do proposals, right? Companies that have nothing to do write proposals. We're happy. And we write agreements for deals, right? But we're not going to write up a bunch of stuff, send it over to you before we, have a verbal agreement on a deal? What sense is that?
Yes.
So, yeah. So you don't have to be cruel. You don't have to insult people, but you can be honest, direct, and forthright when you're anchored to the things that are important to you.
Oren, what I want to do out of respect for your time, I have two final questions for you. One from me and one from a Thriver who has flown in here from Daniel, did you fly in here from Amarillo or did you, I think your mic's on right there. Did you fly in from Amarillo or did you guys drive here?
Yes, I flew in from Amarillo.
Okay, and he owns a company called Daniel's Heat and Air. He's a longtime listener. And he has a company, so I'm going to let him ask you any sales or persuasion question he could possibly think of, and then I've got a question for you real quick.
All right, awesome. Let's roll. Autobots, roll out.
If I buy Flip the Script right now, what's maybe one way that book could change my life if I implement what is in your new book, Flip the Script?
So the idea behind Flip the Script is as simple as inception. You should never get to the point in a pitch, in a sale, in a presentation where you say, so what do you think? Is this something you'd be interested in? Do you have any questions? That's not what you do at the end of a sales presentation or telling people about your products or your ideas. What you really want is for the prospect or the buyer, or the person on the other side of the deal to go, you know what? I love this. How do we get started? The deal should close itself when the buyer says, I love it. How do we get started? And Flip the Script is the process of getting somebody to that point.
There we go.
And that is how all of our deals close. We never go, Mr. Jones, what do you think? Are there any questions? Or if we get the price right, can we move ahead today? It's always the case in the deals we close where they go, hey, I'm really excited. Can you send over an invoice? I want to get started on Monday. And that's what Flip the Script shows you how to do.
Now, Daniel, you have a company called Daniel's Heat and Air based in Amarillo, Texas. Your business is growing. A little fun factoid here for you. He's done more business this year during the first month of August than he did all of last year and during the entire month of August there, Oren. So he's having big growth there with his Heat and Air company. Daniel, what question do you have for Mr. Oren Klaff?
Okay, Mr. Oren Klaff. What is the best rebuttal for a customer that just wants to know a price of a air conditioner or anything?
Yeah. I think, the key to this is the word rebuttal, right? So we do not want to be in argumentation with our customers. So and I'm going to answer you quickly, but my sense is something has gone wrong. to get to that point. So I'm going to answer your question, but I would back you up, right? The reason that you're getting that question is that buyer doesn't believe that the world is changing, and he doesn't believe that you're the number one expert in the way that change is happening. And that's why you're getting those kinds of pricing questions, right? Because he wants to go out and shop it. All right. But when so how's the question go? Hey, listen, for the 27,405 air cool freeze 23,179 unit, what's the price?
$999.
Right. And but that's the question he's asking you?
Yes, that is the question.
I think the answer to that is, as I've said before, the price is, I don't want to be snide. The price is more than you want it to be, and it's less than we want to charge for something like that. It's $999. Then you got the $79. And then I would stack, right, a million things on it. Air filtration, HVAC code. Are you compliant? And I would do a flash roll, as I call it in the book, right, where he should feel that you're the ultimate expert, right? So you would say, the price for the 23OC is $999. They've got a new one this year, which has the, HVAC 23OC code, that's compliant, and that one's $1399. The pulling a permit is $2399. Hooking it up and getting the, Bluetooth wired capable, cell phone is $2399, $799 install. Like, what do you need? Here's what I can tell you. The price that we have is what it takes to get it working. You can buy it on the internet, get it shipped from wherever to your house, right? And you could probably get it for $889. And if you want it for $889, let me give you the name of the guy over at Air Conditioners Are Cheap. And they ship it good. So I don't understand if you want the air conditioner or if you want it working. And in fact, it's a little bit of a red flag for me.
Got it.
That's right. I'm happy to give you a specific price. I just don't know enough. Here's what I can tell you, right?
Andrew, you know what I'm going to have to do right now? I mean, right now you got that trigger finger ready over there. Andrew got the trigger finger ready, Oren, and as is tradition here, if I have an author on the show and the author has a compelling argument, I just buy that. I throw caution to the wind, Oren, and I just buy the book. I just say, forget the caution, forget the budget. I'm going to spend $22.19 on that book. And so, Andrew, are you prepared to buy the book? Andrew's prepared. He's excited to buy it. He's using my
that's
wallet.
Weird. I'm seeing somebody just bought 100 books. Oh, sorry, that was my mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Ms. Klaff.
Yeah.
Hey, Oren, I appreciate you so much for being on the show, my friend, and I'll give you the floor. Do you have a final word you want to share with our listeners? We just appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I think today sales and conversion is so jammed up. It's either flip the script or die.
Oof. I'll tell you what, I've got a little sound effect I want to hit right there because that right there is hot.
Thunder! You're getting ready to flow! I feel the glory of God!
Wow. That's some glory right there, Oren. Thank you for being on the show, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. The sound effects and the good questions and the guest speakers. I'm overwhelmed and appreciative.
Hey, you take care. And Oren, we're off, and I'm going to get this show all edited, and this show is set to go out in October.
Okay, great.
And when it goes out, we'll send it to your people so you can promote it or not promote it to your heart's content. But either way, I really appreciate your book, man. Hopefully you feel like I prepared well enough because I'm honored to have you on the show.
Yeah, you prepared for sure. I appreciate it. Had plenty of great things to say, so let it fly.
All right, my friend. You take care and have a great day. Enjoy those motorcycles.
Okay, I will. Thanks for the interview. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
All right, bye, guys.
I encourage everybody out there to purchase Oren Klaff's book, Pitch Anything. That book has had such an impact on my life. I made my wife listen to that audiobook with me, I think 3 times when I was driving to Dallas and back because I was struggling to understand it. It was blowing my mind. I was having her take notes while I was driving. I'm like, oh, right. Oh, pause it. Write that down. Right that pop. No, that right there. That's hot. And my wife gets things quickly because she's smart and I don't. But that book, I'm just telling you, that book right there is an impressive book. Pick it out today. Just get the book today. Go to Amazon, buy Pitch Anything. And his newest book, Flip the Script. I would encourage you. I have not read the book yet, though. I have not read the book. Flip the Script. I encourage you to get it. I just bought a copy of the book myself. I look forward to digesting that book and breaking it down on the show. But again, check out Oren Klaff's book, Pitch Anything and Flip the Script. And Dr. Breck, I'll let you have the final word here. For anybody out there who's afraid of selling something, what's your final word of encouragement to help all of our listeners sell something, pitch anything, and to move beyond just surviving financially?
Well, I would say, like Clay had said earlier, find your value in something other than the sale itself. You are a valuable person.
Yep.
And then find the value in the product that you're selling, the service that you're selling. Believe in the product, believe in the service, wholeheartedly.
Yep.
And you won't find it nearly as difficult to sell.
And if you work somewhere where you can't sell something because you disagree with the ethics of it, you don't believe in the product, you don't believe in what you're selling,
Time to move on.
It's time to move on.
It is. Yeah, you've got to. If I believe in something, I'm not a salesman. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. But if I believe in something, I can sell anything. It's people will go and they'll tell all their friends about their favorite new pair of shoes or this restaurant that they visited. You're selling it. That's what you're doing. You're out there marketing for that business because you had a great experience, because you believe in it. If you don't believe in your product or service, you're not going to be good at selling it. But if you fully believe in it and you're passionate about it, you won't find it very difficult at all.
And now, without any further ado, we like to end each and every show with a boom. Jason, are you prepared?
Always.
Mr. Listener, Mrs. Listener, are you prepared?
Yes.
Okay. And Dr. Breck, are you prepared?
I'm ready.
Here we go. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom.
It is Jen Jacobson Brusa, and our web address is shop.belovedcheesecakes.com. We have definitely broke records, especially in the month of October, and we're shipping 130 cheesecakes every Tuesday. We could ship more, but we're just running out of space. We don't have enough space.
We don't have the freezer capacity.
Yeah,
and our bakers are struggling to keep up. And we have 2 full-time amazing bakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great problem to have. We're super blessed.
Yes.
But it's just, overcoming, digging.
Yep.
We don't use preservatives or anything. That's why we can't, when we ship them, we want to be able to add all of our fresh ingredients. However, to make the best possible cheesecake arrive at the best possible way, we have to ship the toppings separately. Our growth has been through the roof. Now, when our phone dings and there are cheesecake, that means it's been a cheesecake sale. It used to be a real, wow, look at that, we got a cheesecake sale. Oh my stars, look, where are we shipping it to? Now it's, oh boy, I hope I have the product available. I hope everything's going to be perfect. And now our cheesecake shippings are anywhere from 125 to, I think this week, Tuesday the 28th, we will be another personal record. I think we're pushing 140, possibly 145 cheesecakes.
Are you so you're up like 14 times? Is that accurate, Jen? Am I getting that?
Yes. I can't get over enough of Clay would always tell us it's about consistency. It's about being at the grind, and you develop your systems and you repeat them, and you develop everything that works and you repeat it over and over and over, regardless if you're tired, you're discouraged. It doesn't matter. These systems work, and if you continue to just put time into it and do it repetitively over and over and over, the fruit will come. Yep. The results will come, and you'll be like us, to where how are we keeping up with all these orders?
Jen Brusa owns and operates a successful business called Beloved Cheesecakes, where she sells an amazing variety of them. Jen says her made-from-scratch desserts are award-winning for a couple of reasons.
I just chalk it up to it's Jesus, and it's made with pure love, and my heart goes into it.
Before Jen became a business owner, she had separated from her husband and was raising her 3 sons by herself. Jen received food stamps to help cover her expenses. She also worked as a waitress and got another job in guest services. But even then, it wasn't enough to take care of her 3 growing boys.
Overwhelmed is an understatement. There were times where I didn't even think I was gonna make it. Honestly, it was my boys that kept me going.
After Jen and her husband divorced, she joined a food share co-op program where she paid $20 a month to get surplus food at a discounted price. That's when she received a parcel of blackberries and started making cheesecakes. They were so popular, she began to sell them.
A major blow to Oregon restaurants and bars as the state enters a third shutdown. It's going to take effect today, and it will be the third indoor dining ban for some major cities like Portland and Salem and Bend and Eugene, forcing recovering restaurants to shut their doors yet again to indoor diners. Jen Jacobson is a mother of three and the owner of Beloved Cheesecakes, and she joins us right now from out in Oregon. Good morning to you, Jen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
When you heard the news, you must have thought, you gotta be kidding me. I've already had to let all my employees go. It's just me and my three kids running this operation. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna keep going and doing what I can with the to-go orders and trying to survive that way. I mean, that is what it is. It's like just surviving right now. I do feel like for small businesses, you know, Governor Brown talks about being the underrepresented population of people that she cares for. I mean, we have that in common. I care for underrepresented people myself, and I think she's oversaw small business owners, and especially in the restaurant industry, and we're being underrepresented right now.
Yeah, and there's a picture of you with your three children who are helping you run your operation. And by the way, we've got your website. We're going to give the website in a moment, so people, if they would like to get, in fact, there it is right there. People would like to help her and her family out. BelovedCheesecakes.com is where you can go to see what she's selling, and she'll ship it to you.
All right, folks, we have the Beloved Cheesecakes team broadcasting live here from Oregon, and they have some exciting news. They're continuing to set records because great people like you are buying their cheesecakes. But the company started with very humble beginnings. Jen, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Clay, for having us.
So, Jen, for anybody who wants to verify you're not a hologram and you are a real person, can you tell us your first and last name and your web address for your company?
Yes.
And who's this handsome man next to you, for anybody who wants to look
My
him up?
husband, Mackay.
Mackay. Now, Mackay, people want to look you up. How do you spell Mackay? Someone says, how do you spell Mackay?
It's M-A-K-A-I.
Okay, now we've got through the controversial stuff. You guys are winning awards. You're being nominated for awards. Your sales records are being set. Jen, tell us about the kinds of awards you're being nominated for. Tell us what's happening there at BelovedCheesecakes.com.
Yeah, well, recently we've been put in the top 150 mom and pop shops, America's mom and pop shops from the Entrepreneur magazine. I thought it was a scam at first because, you know, we get a lot of scammy emails. And then the tournament started October 6th, and round one, we made it through round one, and round two came and we made it through round two. And so what it is we don't know when they're tagging us, but they'll just tag us on a random day, and it's we're facing off with another local, or not local, but another small business in America. And this last week was round three. We faced off with a business in New York, and we made it in the top 4 finalists. So next week we have no idea when Beloved Cheesecakes will be tagged, but I guess we're going to be facing off their terminology is a local legend. So, but we're the only business in Oregon that is going to be facing off with another business somewhere elsewhere in the state. So 4 of them. So it's pretty cool.
Now, I want to showcase and share your product with everybody here. It's belovedcheesecakes.com. That's the website. And if somebody out there is watching this show, Jen, and they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to be successful, they want to turn their dream into reality, could you tell us about how you started belovedcheesecakes.com? Because, again, now people see the momentum, they see the awards, they see just all the nationwide success you're having. But for anybody who's going, I want to start my own thing, how did you start belovedcheesecakes.com?
Well, how I started the whole thing was in 2019, and actually started even before that in 2015. So Makai has married in, but I came out of a domestic violent marriage with 3 boys. I was on a food share program, got a flat of blackberries, made a cheesecake, a blackberry cheesecake for my kids' school. And from there, it was, turned into a side hustle, Godsidentally is what I call it. And then I had a Kickstarter that started us, funded us, and my boys and I opened in August 2019, 8 months before the lockdown. And then I chose to stay open during the lockdown. I ended up meeting my husband during the lockdown as well. And like I said, he married in, and here we are. God wanted Beloved Cheesecakes. It's his business. I'm his beloved. He is mine. And it's pretty amazing. We have 2 locations. We ship nationwide. We're in about 20 different restaurants here locally, and grocery stores, and bougie grocery stores, that is.
Now, I met you guys at the Reawaken in Oregon, and people kept saying, Clay, you need to meet Jen. You got to meet this lady. She did not comply with the lockdowns. She stayed open, which, by the way, Oregon is a very tough state to stay open. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's probably the most progressive and liberal state out there. I mean, it really is wild, the persecution you faced. You stayed open. You were featured on Fox News and other outlets for defying the lockdowns and the mandates. We met in Oregon, and now as you're growing this business, we have the opportunity to work with you and help kind of coach you. And what's fun about your business is you're scaling it. And I really wanted to get into that part of I want to dive into your wisdom on scaling something. So let's talk about scaling. What does that mean? It's where you sell something, and you sell something else, and you sell another one, and now, Makai, you're selling 8. And then you sell another one, you're selling, and the people who bought the cheesecake at belovedcheesecakes.com, they love the cheesecake so much, they tell their friends. And now all of a sudden, you're selling 16. And now all of a sudden, those 16 love it so much, and now we're headed into Thanksgiving, and people are going, whoa, I think I saw you on the 700 Club. Aren't you that lady from Entrepreneur Magazine? And now you're selling 32. Jen, I believe, and I want to get Makai's thoughts on this too, I believe now you're selling so many cheesecakes that the local shipping services might not be able to even keep up with all the orders. Is that correct? Am I making that up?
No, you're not making it up. We have definitely broke records, especially in the month of October, and we're shipping 130 cheesecakes every Tuesday. We could ship more, but we're just running out of space. We don't have enough space.
The freezer capacity.
Yeah,
and our bakers are struggling to keep up. And we have 2 full-time amazing bakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great problem to have. We're super blessed.
Yes.
But it's just, overcoming, digging.
Yep.
Now, there's this thing called the tracking sheet, and there's a thing called a recipe. So if you didn't have a recipe, you would not be serving up the world's best cheesecake. I mean, if you just said, hey, guys, girls, people, just do your best. Make the cheesecakes how you feel. We'll go off the feel method. Just paint your way through this. Have some fun. We'll be creative. So you have a recipe to standardize the excellence and the quality. And then you have a tracking sheet so you make sure you're managing the numbers. Jen, let's talk about the recipe. When you started making, I'm going to belovedcheesecakes.com, folks, and I'm clicking on the gallery button. And I'm looking here. I'm finding myself getting hungry. You've got the pumpkin spice going on. You got the Oreo thing. When you first started experimenting with cheesecakes, how did you know that, okay, this one's good enough, I should begin selling it? How did you know that?
Well, it was, the research and development of it, and testing different recipes and making sure that it was perfect, and having other people sample them, and making sure that this was a high-end, high-quality cheesecake. And so by testing it, I do the quality control now that I'm not baking. I definitely taste my fillings, make sure that everything is still staying the same. And that's the biggest compliment we get, is the consistency and our quality. We don't do shortcuts, and we still hand zest and hand juice all of our citrus. Someday I would like to get an actual juicer, but we just don't have the room for it right now.
And so when you're filling these orders, you have bakers, and they all want to make the cakes. You want everyone to make the cakes to a certain quality standard. Your quality standard, Makai, is sincerely higher than that of your competition. I'm trying to word this in a way that makes sense. You're not trying to be some diva, bougie cheesecake, but if like a Ford Escort was the cheapest cheesecake in the world, and a Lamborghini was like the best, you're kind of serving a Lamborghini cheesecake, but maybe at like a Honda price. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but you offer that Lamborghini quality. Can you talk about that? Just what is the idea? How do you position yourself in the market? How do you see yourself, Makai? Do you see yourselves as like the Lamborghini of cheesecake, or how would you describe the quality that someone will receive when they get one of your cheesecakes?
I would definitely say it's the Lamborghini. We like to also reference Ferrari. We call ourselves the Ferrari of cheesecakes, best cheesecake in America. And I think what it all boils down to is we use real ingredients and we make real cheesecake, scratch made, handmade, every one of them.
Small batch.
When I say real ingredients, you can look at our ingredients because we have to give them out to these bougie grocery stores. And our ingredients, I think, is 10 or under. And then other cakes that are involved, other cheesecakes from other facilities. The list is ginormous compared to ours. And people all the time say, when they have our cheesecake, they eat it, they don't feel heavy, they don't feel bloated, they feel still light, or they don't get heartburn and things like that. So
we're not using all the fillers.
No, we don't use preservatives or anything. That's why we can't, when we ship them, we want to be able to add all of our fresh ingredients. However, to make the best possible cheesecake arrive at the best possible way, we have to ship the toppings separately.
Now, what I'm gonna do now, Jen, is I'm gonna open it up. We have two members of our team here on the mic. They're not on camera, but they're on the mic. We have Rihanna here, and we have McKenna. They're very solid, good people, and they might or might not like cheesecake, but I know they like you. And we're gonna ask you a couple questions, if we can, about growing your business, because there's somebody watching this show today, and they're gonna be inspired by the answers you provide here. So let's go with Rihanna first. Rihanna, what question would you have for Jen, who's been a client of ours for a long time? She's a diligent person. She's putting in the work. She's making a great product. What question would you have for Jen?
Yeah. So what habits would you say would be the most critical to your success?
Oh, definitely. Well, keeping a schedule, and then also we really focus on being diligent doers, So I tell people when we do group interviews that we're in these restaurants not because they came to us. We're in these grocery stores not because they came to us, but we're diligent doers, and we're calling them. One grocery store, it took us a year to get in, and that's from us being diligent and calling them. Even with the rejections of no's, we still continue to call. So that is one habit, is to continually follow through, call, be a diligent doer.
Now, I have a follow-up question, then we'll go to McKenna here. And I'm not asking you to put your financial numbers out there for the world to hear, but I do want to ask you this question. Makai, when we met in Oregon, I just remember hearing that you would not lock down, and I knew, well, boop, 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 we could help you, because there's a certain defiance you have to have. By the way, there's a great documentary series called The Defiant Ones, one of my favorite documentaries of all time, called The Defiant Ones, and it is mind-boggling. But you have to be a little bit defiant in terms of you have to stand up for your principles and be focused if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. And I knew when you guys stood up to the lockdowns, I knew you would do very well as business owners. From the time that we met in Oregon to now, how much growth have you had? Are you selling one extra cheesecake a month? Are you one time bigger? Are you 10% smaller? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? How would you describe growth, just to give people a context of the growth you guys are having over there at belovedcheesecakes.com?
It's easy. It's been significant. Just last year to this year, and you're just talking shipping, we were excited when it wasn't a holiday week or a holiday month, and we would ship 10, 15 cheesecakes on a Tuesday. We thought we were big stuff. But as of August, we've been really playing around with Facebook ads on our advertising and marketing, because it's all about that marketing. Our growth has been through the roof. Now, when our phone dings and there are cheesecake, that means it's been a cheesecake sale. It used to be a real, wow, look at that, we got a cheesecake sale. Oh my stars, look, where are we shipping it to? Now it's, oh boy, I hope I have the product available. I hope everything's going to be perfect. And now our cheesecake shippings are anywhere from 125 to, I think this week, Tuesday the 28th, we will be another personal record I think we're pushing 140, possibly 145 cheesecakes.
Are you
And again,
so you're up
I'm
like
at
14 times? Is that accurate, Jen? Am I getting that?
yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, folks, what we're going to do right now, we're all going to come into an agreement right now. If you're looking for a holiday gift, and I know you are. Now, someone says, I'm not looking for a holiday gift. Okay, if you're Scrooge and you're not getting a holiday gift, we'll pray for you too. But if you are watching this show right now and you're looking for a great gift for mom or dad or somebody, I want everyone to go to Beloved Cheesecakes and at least consider buying an incredible cheesecake from belovedcheesecakes.com. And again, you guys are having exponential, massive growth. McKenna, you have a chance to work with great clients. What question would you have for Jen about scaling from a small business to a regional business to now a national brand? Well, I have you muted. That's terrible. I'm back to you.
Yeah, how has implementing the tracking sheet ultimately helped you and helped impact your business as well as scaling it?
Oh, the tracking sheet has been an absolute lifesaver. We ask every single person how they heard about us. And in the beginning, when we first started working with Clay, we had ads on a radio station. We had ads in a magazine. And when we started using the tracking sheet of how do you hear about us, we saw where our marketing dollars were going and not getting any no fruit from it. And so being able to track how everybody heard about us, being able to see our numbers, so then we can push like, okay, we've got to have sales this week. We had a loss last week or whatever. The tracking sheet has been an absolute game changer for us.
Do you have a follow-up question about tracking sheets, McKenna? And we'll go back to Rihanna. What do you have a follow-up question for Jen? Because again, somebody watching this show, you are highly motivated, highly caffeinated, maybe even agitated. You want to have success, and you're maybe saying, "Wow, can I do it?" I mean this sincerely. I know you can do it. I know Jen is doing it. Any other question you have for Jen there, McKenna?
What was the most surprising thing that you found through tracking?
I think, like I said, we had our ad. We have a really conservative, awesome radio station here in the area, and we were spending money with them monthly. And I think finding through the tracking sheet and asking people how they hear about us, not seeing fruit from that was really surprising and shocking and sad, because we also want to support another local business here. But when you're a small business, your dollars, every dollar counts on where you're spending it. And so I think, wouldn't you think that's like?
I was just gonna say, I'd love to add to that. Asking for objective reviews.
Oh yeah.
At the very beginning when we started working with Clay, we thought this might be a little ridiculous, this little obnoxious, pestering people. Hey, and we'd love to have an objective review. Your opinion really matters to our business. But then fast forward to where we're at, 2,200 or plus 5-star reviews. And to hear when you ask people, hey, how'd you hear about us? And they're like, oh, I want a dessert. And I Googled dessert, and bam, you came right up, best dessert. Or a company in Vermont says, where's the best key lime cheesecake? They find us. Now we build a relationship where we send them cases of key lime cheesecake all the way from Oregon into Vermont for her restaurant. So
I want to show people this too, just to hammer what you just said, because what you said, Makai, is pretty powerful. If you Google search Oregon cheesecakes, you guys now come up as the top search result. Mm-hmm. And I have run into so many people that have come to me and they've said, hey, Clay, I heard about Beloved through this, through that, looked them up. They always say that part. They go, I heard about Beloved through this and that, and I looked them up, and they were great. But they always say, I looked them up. So what does that mean, to look it up, to look them up? I'm looking it up. What does that mean? I'm looking it up. It's usually somebody Googling something, and then they find something. And because you stood up against the lockdowns for a while, the only thing that ever came up was like some toxic news story. And so we've had to work through that. So it's been pretty awesome to see. Rihanna, again, belovedcheesecakes.com is the topic, scaling a company. What question or questions would you have for Jen about how to scale, how she has scaled her business, belovedcheesecakes.com?
Yeah. How have you dealt with the criticism and the rejection that comes with scaling your business?
It's pretty easy. I think it's free entertainment, to be honest. I don't pay much attention to it, and I'm very vocal here in Oregon. I stand for our freedom and Jesus and America. And so what people that are hating on us or criticizing us, we are also fighting for their freedom of speech. I mean, they have the freedom to have their opinion, their thoughts, their beliefs. And so when they hate on us, it's like, that's okay. That's your opinion. We're allowed to have our own opinions and beliefs. And so I don't take it to heart at all.
Behind you, you have all these signs, these wonderful, encouraging signs. You and I share, I think, a similar worldview in that we're always putting out signs and things on the wall. You've decided to not apologize for your faith at belovedcheesecakes.com. As you're hiring people through the process of the group interview, aka interviewing a lot of candidates, how has that helped your business, Jen? Interviewing a lot of people and just knowing that, hey, not everybody's going to fit into a culture where I'm putting up Bible verses on my walls.
The group interviews is probably one of my most favorite things about running Beloved Cheesecakes and learning the group interview from having you as my coach. I just had my first walkout last week, actually, and I always start with, hi, I'm Jen, the owner, founder of Beloved Cheesecakes. First and foremost, we love Jesus. Secondly, we love America. You do not have to know Jesus to work for us, but if you do not like America, you will not like working for us. It doesn't offend me if you leave. I just have to tell you who we are. And I had a gal get up and she's like, yeah, I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me. And which is totally fine. And I'm like, we'll still serve you cheesecake.
Yep,
we still love you. But you just have to know who we are. So I just, right at the beginning, everybody knows there's no question. And clearly they come in our shop and they see that as well.
I want to share this real quick. This is a copy of a book I'm editing for Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer right now. And it's on my desk. And I don't have to hide this book. I don't have to go, oh, no, someone's coming in my office. I should hide the book. Or this is on my desk right now. This is Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Guide to Investing. I was just on the Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast this week. I don't have to hide this book and say, oh, no, someone's coming in my office. I don't have to live in duality. Mark Batterson just sent me his book. This is the pastor of one of the largest churches in America. He's in Washington, D.C. I just interviewed Mark on our show this week. I don't have to hide the book like it's contraband. I don't have cognitive dissonance. I'm not trying to appeal to everybody. And if you're watching today's show and you feel stuck because you're being held hostage by crazy, toxic, nefarious employees, folks, we can help you get unstuck. Jen, what would you say to anybody who has not been to one of our workshops? Because I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think when you came to our workshops, I think you kind of felt like you'd found your tribe or like you'd found home. How would you describe the business workshops?
For the business workshops, it's not a motivational workshop. That's what I first tell everybody. It is action-packed, and you are going to learn the skills and the things to do in your business that will help grow and scale your business. And I think everybody should go. I tell everybody about your business conference all the time. And just if they want to, they don't even have to have you as a business coach, but just to go and learn the steps to grow their business, and also to have that boldness and courage and to stand up for what they believe in and bring their values, their personal values, into their business and not be afraid of that.
So here's what I'm doing today on today's show. Someone says today. Well, it's just between now and December 4th and 5th. So between now and December 4th and 5th, kind of get some mojo going. If you're watching today's show, or you watch the show, whenever you watch it between now and December 4th and 5th, if you will go to belovedcheesecakes.com, and you will buy any cheesecake at all. You buy any cheesecake at all for the holidays, for yourself. Maybe you're trying to pack on 45 pounds before the holidays. That's great. But you just go to belovedcheesecakes.com. You buy a cheesecake, buy multiple cheesecakes. If you'll just text me a screenshot to verify your purchase. So you say, what do I do? Go to belovedcheesecakes.com. You buy a cheesecake, and you want to text my cell phone number. This is my cell phone number. We'll keep that very private between you and me and everybody. That's my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. If you'll just text me proof of purchase, I'm going to enter you in for a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming conference featuring Eric Trump, featuring Mel K, featuring yourself, featuring Michael Levine. So again, you say, I want to go to the business workshop. How do I do it? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. You say, I want to have a great cheesecake. How do I do it? Belovedcheesecakes.com. Now, if you'll just buy anything at all from belovedcheesecakes.com and you'll text me a proof of purchase to my cell phone number, that number is 918-851-0102, 918-851-0102. 0102. You'll be entered in for a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming event. So my final question, Jen, is if somebody's looking at buying one of your products and they're going, okay, I've never bought a Beloved Cheesecakes product before. What's the one? What's the move? If someone goes to your gallery, they go to the shop, what is the one thing that everybody should check out? What's the one product
I think everybody should get the ultimate sampler. It's one slice of everything that we have, and you get the two seasonals. At Christmas time, you'll have the pumpkin and the white chocolate peppermint in that. And we tell everybody that Beloved Cheesecakes is a great gift to give someone that has everything.
That's right.
So that's what we say.
Look at that. Look at that. Don't look at it too much, folks. Look at it. Look at it. Go to, so we go to belovedcheesecakes.com. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to belovedcheesecakes.com. Fingers on the home row. Feeling the flow. Working it. Finding the shop button. Clicking the shop button. Finding the ultimate sampler. Where is it? It's over here to the left. I click the ultimate sampler, and there it is. 80, what is it? Half price? It's only $89. Come on. This is incredible cheesecake. So again, Jen, thank you so much for your time. Makai, I appreciate you allowing the Ferrari of cheesecakes to be available for just $89. Makai, I'll give you the final word, final 30 seconds. What say you, sir?
I'm glad you said that because I can't get over enough of Clay would always tell us it's about consistent. It's about being at the grind, and you develop your systems and you repeat them, and you develop everything that works and you repeat it over and over and over, regardless if you're tired, you're discouraged, it doesn't matter. These systems work, and if you continue to just put time into it and do it repetitively over and over and over, the fruit will come, the results will come, and you'll be like us to where how are we keeping up with all these orders?
Thank you guys so much for carving out time. I know you have more orders to ship. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
Okay, Aaron Antis, guess who's joining us for the December 4th and 5th, 2025 Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop? Whoa.
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, we will not be joined by Santa Claus, but we will be joined by Eric Trump, the son of the 45th and now 47th President of these United States. And yes, Amanda Grace will be in the place. And yes, Dr. Stella Manuel will be there, so you know it will go well. Yes, we have Mel K in the house. Pastor Phil and Tammy Hotzenpiller will be hosting this event at their beautiful church right there in sunny Anaheim, California. Yes, folks, make this a December to remember.
You surprised?
Make this a December to remember and join us at the 2-day interactive business growth workshops. For over 20 years, folks, I've been hosting business growth workshops where we're going to teach you marketing, sales systems, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, sales training, search engine optimization, accounting, workflow development, financial management, all this and more. How do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, how do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com and request tickets today. And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, and this just in from our home office, President Donald J. Trump is now the 47th president of these United States as well.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
He needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
And it ain't over now.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here.
There's a lot of togetherness and closeness, camaraderie.
So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com, Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences. And to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch. And this is also your opportunity to meet some of the great speakers like Pastor Dave Scarlett. You could meet Mel Kay. You could meet Amanda Grace. You could meet Dr. Stella Emanuel. You could just grab a coffee. You could find some alone time. You could get lost in the bathroom. You could try to go and get a photo with one of the speakers. You could try to photobomb a photo where someone else is getting a photo with the speakers. You could go attempt to find your phone, wallet, and your keys.
My phone, wallet, keys, your phone, wallet, keys.
Whoa.
Now that's a good idea.
Well, it's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. This is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. Whoa. Add to that, Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch.
Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
It's an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. Someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. And we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now. thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the event's going to be on December 4th and 5th in sunny Anaheim, California. Great weather. Make this a December to remember. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop in beautiful Anaheim, California.
I'm Kay Dixon. I'm from Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Vince Suzuki, also from Sarasota, Florida.
He dragged me here.
Yep, was here in 2018, and it changed my business, and I built another business, and now I'm here to do it again with this business. So.
Yeah, I'm a brand strategist, and it's been really easy to go to a lot of events like this and just leave really in your head like what to do next. And already there's the strategic, step-by-step, real-life implementation that we can do to our business, and I'm so grateful to be here and very excited that Eric Trump is here, and that is going to be epic.
Hi, my name is Erica, and it has been amazing being here. The conference, I'm learning so much. Everything is perfect for me.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart, and I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good, and then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
And the greatest thing that'll come out of all of it, aside from winning the presidency of the United States, we'll get to that in a second, was an everlasting friendship between Clay and I, because I'm telling you, there's not too many people in the world that have this man's backbone and his tenaciousness and his perseverance. And so, buddy, I love you. And to General Flynn, thank you. You guys are incredible. You guys are incredible warriors. You guys are incredible, incredible warriors. So thank you, my friend.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
We're going to move into action mode here. So for anybody out there, if you say, I would like to go to Mar-a-Lago. Now, Jackson, you know that this just in, they raided Mar-a-Lago. You know about this? This just in. And so some people say, that wasn't cool. I didn't like that. But, so a lot of people out there, we want to kind of stick it to the New York Times. We want Eric to become the #1 best-selling author in America. And we kind of also want to go to Mar-a-Lago and check it out. We've never been there before. So what we're going to do is for anybody right now, if you go to Amazon right now and you buy a copy of Eric Trump's book, Under Siege, My Family's Fight to Save Our Nation. So you go to Amazon right now, you buy a copy of the book, and you just text a screenshot of your proof of purchase to my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. So text my number, 918-851-0102. So again, step one, you go here to Amazon.com, you buy a copy of the book, Under Siege, then you just text a screenshot of your purchase, your proof of purchase. You text my number, 918-851-0102. You have a chance to win a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Eric Trump and myself, and there's more.
And by the way, Mar-a-Lago right there, just for your viewers, it's the most exclusive private club in the world. $2 million to get into, just base membership fee. And I promise we're going to make your night absolutely incredible. Clay goes, listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we put it out to all the amazing Reawaken people, all the people who supported us all around the country, all around, at every one of these conferences, who adore your family. We've got to beat the New York Times. The New York Times is going to do everything they can. Even though we're #1 on Amazon right now, we just hit #1 this morning. New York Times is going to do everything they can to keep you from being #1 bestseller. You know that, I know that, you know the games that they're willing to play. But Clay goes, why don't we do a couple of things? First of all, love having dinner with Clay. He's the greatest. Second of all, why don't we bring one of the amazing people that I guarantee you I've been in front of at all these events. Why don't we bring a couple to dinner at Mar-a-Lago? And I said, absolutely, consider it done. So I said they have to text you, Clay. They can't text me because we'll be getting 1,000 of these. But yeah, go buy a book, text Clay, and we'll set up a dinner. I'll make sure you guys have the absolute time of your life.
I'm going to pull this up again one more time here, Jackson, because I think sometimes I'm a poor communicator, and I need to work on communicating more effectively. So you go to Amazon. That's step one, okay? Yes. You buy a copy of the book, Pop Quiz. What book?
Under Siege.
You buy a copy of Under Siege, and then you screenshot a picture of that, and you text my phone number. It's 918-851-0102. And folks, that is my cell phone number. So we'll keep that private between you and me and everybody. And then when you text that to me, you have a chance to win a backstage pass to the actual in-person business workshop. That's a business growth workshop, December 4th and 5th, featuring Eric Trump in Anaheim, California. And you have a chance to win dinner with Eric Trump and myself at Mar-a-Lago. Now, someone says, when does this contest end? Now, Eric, your birthday was hijacked. Okay, so your birthday was hijacked. January 6th is this man's birthday. He now has to switch his birthday because no one wants to talk about his birthday on January 6th anymore. So we're going to run this promotion until November 5th. That's my birthday. So we're gonna,
no. So we're going to run it till October 14th.
October 14th.
Has to be pre-sale.
This just in. It has to be between October 14th. That's why we're clarifying. So between now and October October 14th. Now, folks, let me just clarify this real quick here. So make sure I'm leaving you with some good clarity here. One, you buy a copy of Under Siege on Amazon. That's the step one.
Yep.
Step two, you text a screenshot of that purchase to my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. Three, you have to do that before October 14th. Before October 14th, this just in. It has to be before October 14th. And you have a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming business workshop. You have a chance to have dinner with Eric Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And I want to tell you some benefits of buying the book. One, I've read the book. It's incredible. If you're a father out there and you want to learn about mentoring your kids, it's a great book. If you want to learn about American history, it's a great book. If you want to make America great again, it is a great book. It's a book you got to have.
Now here is just a quick editor's note. You do not have to buy a copy of Eric Trump's book Under Siege to be entered into the drawing. Whoa. Just text the number. All you have to do is just text the number 918-851-0102 and you will be entered into the drawing for a chance to win a copy of Eric Trump's book Under Siege and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hang out with Eric Trump and Clay Clark at Mar-a-Lago and to win a backstage pass at the upcoming ThriveTimeShow.com 2-day interactive business workshop. Again, you do not have to buy a copy of the book to be entered into the drawing, but it would be great if you'd buy a copy of the book because that would make sense. However, that is all, and now back to the interview.
Also, Eric, a final question here for you. You are donating a portion of the proceeds to support Charlie Kirk in his continued mission there. Could you tell us about that briefly there, and then we'll let you get back to what you're doing today, sir?
Yeah, well, I was on with Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson was a great friend of Charlie Kirk's, as you know, and you know Benny, and Benny's a very good friend of mine, and, you know, Kash Patel is a very good friend of mine and was a very good friend of Charlie's. I mean, you watch everybody that's up on that stage every single day as they got to the bottom of exactly what happened, and they brought justice to what happened, or are trying to bring justice to what happened, and it's kind of unthinkable, but you know St. Jude, and I talk a lot about St. Jude in this book because that's been, you know, fighting pediatric cancer has always been a cornerstone of my life. But Charlie truly was the epitome of being under siege, not only in the movement that he helped create, but obviously in how his life was savagely taken. My book came out 2.5 days before Charlie's assassination. You better believe he would have been the final chapter of this book as just another illustration of what these people will do at any cost to try and win, because it's who they are. It's the not so tolerant left, and we can never let our voices be extinguished. Clay, you stood on that stage as well as anybody I've ever seen stand on a stage. You did at Reawaken events all across the country, which you funded out of your back pocket because you believed in America, you believed in a greater country, and you were on that stage every single day. You know, I was on that stage with you every single day, and I was on the Turning Point stage with Charlie all the time, and I was on stages across, the country, and 3 campaigns. I've stood on thousands of them, and honestly, they don't want us to stand on that stage. That's why they're sending bullets from rooftops. They don't want us to go out there with a bullhorn and have loud, independent thought. When they see these beautiful arenas full of kids and they're cheering, they're celebrating, they're holding American flags, they don't want that. And so they want to silence us. They want to silence our voice. That's why they killed Charlie. That's why they tried to kill my father. That's why they sent 112 subpoenas to me. That's why they wanted me in jail and my father in jail and Don in jail. That's why they made up the hoaxes. They wanted to see us destroyed and gone with no voice, with no money, with no company, with no political aspirations, gone. And we can't allow that to happen. And so we need to make sure that Turning Point continues. We need to make sure incredible patriots like you continue to spread, sensible speech, pro-American values, pro-religious, pro-constitutional values. And that's why I want to donate the funds to Turning Point. I want to donate, a portion of the funds to Turning Point, because we can't allow anarchy to win, and we can't allow voices to be deleted, and we need to keep Charlie's legacy going.
Eric Trump, thank you so much for joining us. Pastor Jackson, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Eric, have a great day. We really do appreciate you. Everybody go out there and buy that book, Under Siege. It's not too early to buy your Christmas gifts. And if you have a Democrat in your family, buy them a copy as well. Eric Trump, take care.
Thanks, guys. See you later.